Set up right. What am I rolling? What am I rolling tonight? What is good, y'all? What is good? What is popping, everybody? This is Mikey T, the movie star. You know what they call me, the most hated yet anticipated. It's good. What is popping, everybody? This is Mikey T, the movie star. You know what they call me, the most hated yet anticipated. That's right, Mikey T, the movie star, back with another exclusive tonight. Guys, you are going to love what we're talking about tonight. We have 3 hot topics. That's right, 3 hot topics. Well, let me just give everybody a second to pour in here. My co-host, everybody else that's coming to join the live. Definitely appreciate everybody for tapping in tonight. Go ahead, hit that like button on your way in. D-Money, we're going to be talking about it all tonight. 99 Ghost, what's popping, man? What is going on with y'all tonight? What is happening, guys? I am your host, Mikey T, the movie star. We are back for another major exclusive. I am glad everyone's tuned in. We actually have a major
car radio.
Major exclusive coming in form of live video today, you guys. That's right. I'm going to be having a live video. When the static with Drake and Meek picked up, did that shake Dream Chasers? We're gonna be talking about all that. That's our main event tonight, you guys. Our main event is Jay Prince saving Drake from Meek Mill. And I think you all remember the height of the Meek Mill and Drake beef era. I think you guys all probably remember what Meek Mill was doing to his enemies back then. Meek Mill wasn't letting anybody survive back then. And I got to say, man, I did respect the antics of Meek Mill. I did respect his gangsta. You know, Meek Mill is a different type of artist. You know, you hear about him running up on dudes in shoe stores and, you know what I mean, going and confronting people face to face. I got to say, I do respect what Meek Mill was doing. You know, I got to say, I do respect the way Meek Mill was carrying himself out there. Now, the whole situation that popped off with 6ix9ine, I do wish he would have mopped the floor with that guy real quick, just to be 100% honest with you. I wish he would have mopped the floor with him real quick, but, you know, it is what it is. Meek Mill has elevated since the days of him beefing with Drake. In my opinion, he's actually elevated since then. He's gone to jail, so he realizes how much of a commodity freedom is, you know, his fame. You know, the whole situation that he's in life right now, he could really have anything that he wants or go anywhere that he wants to go. And he doesn't want to jeopardize that by getting into a fight or having his security mop somebody up, and then he violates, you know, some sort of his, he violates anything, or he just gets arrested again. What's going on? What's going on, Mr. Bivens? What's popping, my boy Mikey T? What is good, man? We're just doing a live stream tonight. Couple crazy topics. You know, Gillie actually addressed running into Jay Prince, but it also reminded me of an old story that I had of Jay Prince, who, you know, it's kind of like a story that's like my posters in the background. You know, I got the Death Row 30th anniversary poster, and I got the classic Death Row logo poster. But this whole situation kind of reminds me of when muscling works in the music industry, man, because tonight we're going to be talking about a comical situation, but then we're also going to be talking about a situation in which Drake, you know, a multi-platinum, a superstar recording artist, was actually helped by Jay Prince. And I've actually got an exclusive interview with a Dream Chasers affiliate, you know. Let me see. What's up? What's up, Official 410? I appreciate you tapping in tonight, man. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share this video. Definitely appreciate everybody tuning into the live tonight. All right, but yeah, we're not going to get into that, D-Money. We're not going to get into that. Today, we're actually just going to focus on the topics, and I've got three amazing ones. Now, we've gone over two of them, the two topics that actually involve Jay Prince, involving Gillie the Kid when he had first signed to Suave House, and we're going to dig into that in full detail tonight as far as Gillie signing over to that Texas-based label, you know what I mean? All that, the whole Meek Mill and Drake, that's our main event. But we've also got to talk about Shyne. We've also got to talk about Shyne going on Drink Champs and doing an interview with Nori. That's right. That is another topic of ours tonight. El Capitan. Gillie ran. What? Well, we're gonna dig into it all. We're gonna dig into the whole situation. Gillie running, not so much. More so, Gillie being told to get into a car. Gillie seeing the serious nature of what was going on, probably not knowing his surroundings to the fullest. I believe Wallow had said this was his introduction to Houston. That's right, you guys, Houston. When Gillie had first officially signed to Suave House. Juan Martinez, what is good, brose? Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Just really going heavy on these lives, getting ready for the new year. All new interviews, man. We had a great week of the throwback 2021 best interviews, but now I'm just ready to keep going on these live videos, man. Going after all these topics, being here to provide the hottest hip hop news for all of you out there, man. D Money. This is gonna be I think it's gonna be our second topic, man. So D Money, please stay in tune because D actually has some good information here. We'll tap into it since this is the introduction to the show. He said Jay Prince was after 8 Ball and MJG. Gillie was with them at the time. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that when Gillie was at Suave House, that he was actually around 8 Ball and MJG. You know what I mean? He was actually around people from the industry that we know, people that went on to sign to other labels. As we all know, Gillie went from Suave House to Cash Money. 8 Ball and MJG eventually went over to Bad Boy. I'm not sure if it was Bad Boy South at the time. Was it D Money? Was it Bad Boy South that they went to along with Chappa City to release the was it the Living Legends album? Oddly enough, Gunplay had released an album of the same title. Mikey T, salute, major salute to Ethan. I appreciate you tapping in, man. We have a major exclusive that we're going over tonight. We've got 3 hot topics. Shyne just went and did a dope interview on the Breakfast Club, Drink Champs, because Drink Champs is pretty much the Breakfast Club now, followed by $1 million worth of game, the hottest 2 podcasts in the game, period. Salute to Joe Budden as well. You know what I mean? All these guys are really doing their thing. So we're going to be touching on a couple topics, man. But Shyne went on Drink Champs, and he pretty much ended all of his issues with guys like Rick Ross. We know he's ended his issues with Diddy a few times, but more importantly, he ended his issues with 50 Cent, you guys. Shyne, who recorded For the Record, where he took Sha Money XL's voice when Sha Money XL had called him up and said, yo, Shyne, we're really feeling you over here at G Unit, and we would like to do something with you. And Shyne was actually incarcerated at this point for 10, he was on a 10-year stint in prison. Now Shyne mentioned in the interview that if he would have, if you guys haven't seen the Shyne interview on Drink Champs, man, Nori is really doing his thing. Salute to Nori as well, man. Always giving me a blunt or a beer or letting me interview him when he's getting a haircut. And salute to Capone, who gave me an amazing interview. A lot of you have probably seen it. He basically broke down the whole story of how CNN formed together. But yeah, so Shyne actually said on a couple interesting things on Drink Champs, y'all. And we're going to go over that tonight because he officially ended the beef with 50 Cent. He actually toasted to 50 Cent's achievements, his longevity in the game. And it's kind of astounding as a 50 Cent fan or you know what I mean, as a Shyne fan as well, to hear that come from Shyne, you guys, to actually hear that Shyne is acknowledging 50 Cent's longevity. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, it really seemed like Shyne actually did not like 50 Cent whatsoever, but he addressed all that, and we're going to get into it a little bit when we break down the full issue. Now, he said he ended his beef with Rick Ross as well. In the interview with Nori, he explained how he was in Jerusalem and he was in Israel. And at one point, Rick Ross had put out an album called the Black Bar Mitzvah. Am I correct in the chat? It was called the Black Bar Mitzvah album, right, you guys? So Shyne actually took exception to that, and that actually started everything that transpired between them. We've seen what has happened with Diddy over the years, and Shyne even said it in the interview himself that he has, just felt emotional about it over the years because it's his situation. He kind of felt like he got somebody turning their back on him. Yes, sir. That was the album. Yeah. Are you talking about Living Legend from 8 Ball and MJG, or are you talking about the other album I was just bringing up? What up, Antoine Hollaman? Appreciate you for tapping in tonight. Rochester, New York, 585 on the check-in. Major salute to you, bro. Definitely mess with you, man. Everybody do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this video. Share this video, y'all. Hit that like button. Let's get the viewers up. Let's get the attention known about Mikey T, the movie star, the next hottest blogger in the game, the no jumper of the streets. You know what I'm saying? 315. Baby boy is in the building. Major salute to you, man. Yup, Black Bar Mitzvah. Shyne actually took exception to that, but he is putting it all behind him. He's putting it all behind him now because, it's kind of a travesty that when Shyne came out of jail, all of these guys that were praising him, like the game, all these guys that were praising him like the game, all these guys that were trying to sign him like 50 Cent, he kind of just went against them, He kind of went against them, and it ruined the opportunity of us getting great music. People obviously wanted to work with Shyne when he got right out of jail. DJ Khaled was right there to put him on his new compilation album with Akon, if I'm not mistaken. All My Life. Yeah, man. Black Bar Mitzvah was the mixtape that Rick Ross put out that actually antagonized Shyne. And we all know what it was that Diddy did. We don't even really need to get into that. Yeah, Steve. Steve Drive. What happened, man? You got a new but Steve said Shyne said that 50 was on witness protection, the levels of lies he went to. Yeah, kind of crazy, right? Temp 183rd, major salute to you. I appreciate you for tapping in, man. Shout out to Mikey T. You doing good, brother. All blessings to you. Definitely appreciate you tapping in, man. Do me a favor. If you haven't, hit that like button. Share this video. We're about to get into this exclusive I've got right here.
Dream Chasers, fucking no. Niggas was happy.
We're going to get into this exclusive. We're going to get into this exclusive that I have right here with Tiffy Bay, actually. Speaking on the whole.
Here with Mikey T, the movie star, on Report Card Radio.
So we're going to get into that whole episode right there. It's a couple minute clip. It's our main event tonight with Tiffy Bay actually breaking down the situation that happened in Philly with Meek Mill and Drake during the rise of the tension. And I think this whole issue was over a tweet. I think it was over a post. Baby Boy says, do you think the utilization of Clubhouse would grow your blog and channel? I haven't gotten on Clubhouse, man. We're really trying to use this platform right here, utilize it to the fullest extent. But you're right, man. Jumping on Clubhouse wouldn't be a bad idea. I do not think jumping on Clubhouse would be a bad idea. So, no, I appreciate the consideration. Mikey T, the movie star, needs to get on Clubhouse, and I need to start interacting with some of these other dudes. You know what I'm saying? Some of these other females too. I know a lot of the female R&B artists be on there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of interaction on Clubhouse if you dig what I'm saying. For content, well, baby boy kind of explained to me how it would work if I got on Clubhouse. I mean, I don't really honestly know how Clubhouse works, to be 100% honest with you. How do you even get involved in a conversation? You see, D Money says, I don't think Clubhouse is a good idea, Mikey. Well, I mean, D Money, don't you think a lot of other people who actually know about what I do would be interested in hearing me chime in on conversations? Too many people looking for an opportunity to disrespect. D Money's like, listen, Mikey, I want to be the one in the room disrespecting you at all times. He's like, if he's like, I'm gonna be the one disrespecting you, Mikey. Nah, I feel what you're saying though. I see how it goes on Clubhouse. When people are talking, other people just chime in. You know, they always just chime in and just say some shit. You kind of got to ignore it and keep on your path, though, from what I understand, because those people can just get muted out. I'm not 100% familiar with the platform, though, you know, but and to be honest with you, instead of getting in tune with it, I've really been trying to grow things over here, you know, and I think we have grown substantially on the YouTube side of things. Now, Mikey, keep it in your lane. But don't you think there's just so many other people out there who are like, damn, they know who I am, so it's like I could really jump into the other lane. You've got your own niche. Niche. I like that. I like the sound of that, man. I like the sound of that. Yeah, you know, I've really been jumped on this YouTube platform for like 2 years, in all honesty, just coming out here, putting my face on the camera. Before that, I'd done 10 years of video interviews, and I've interviewed whoever you can mention. No, I know who Death of the Clout Chaser is. That's actually my boy. That's actually my boy right there, Big Chuck from Death of the Clout Chaser. Yeah, he's been on the channel several times. We've actually done a couple different things together, man. Tanya Karen G says, hard to understand when there are too many people talking. Yeah, that's another thing about Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing about Clubhouse is like there's so many different people. D Money, maybe you should do IG Live. I do a little bit on IG. You know, I usually use IG to promote what I'm doing over here. You know, I usually go on my Instagram to make people aware of the interviews I have coming out or if I'm going live. That's really what I utilize Instagram for, as well as, you know, posting pictures and shit like that. Pictures from sets of videos. A whole host of music video directors have got pissed at me for that shit. I'm just kidding. It was only one. And he was only signed to the biggest artist in the game. Who was that videographer? Whoever. I'm going to do a giveaway, though, for when we get to 100,000 subscribers, for real. For real, for real. But, yo, we're going to be getting started with the show real quick. About to be joined by my co-host, SV Twiz. Of course, you know I'm going to get rolled up. I got my drink. I hope you all have your drink tonight. We have a dope episode. Spliff TV. No, it was not Spliff TV. And that is Spiff TV. Put some respect on Spiff TV. Spiff TV has put several. He's got me into several nightclubs. Excuse me, guys. I'm rolling up real quick. What's everybody smoking? What's everybody smoking? Tell me what you're smoking. I want to know what everybody's smoking. This is what I got. Put it in the chat what you got. Look what it is. It's cheetah piss. We got a question. Since we're on the introduction, I'll take a question. You know, we usually don't do that to the end of the show, D, but I'll respect it. He said, Mikey, do you think LL Cool J is a bigger artist than Jay-Z? No, I don't think LL Cool J is a bigger artist than Jay-Z. Maybe at one point, LL Cool J was looked at as a bigger legend than Jay-Z, but at this point, I think they've got a similar amount of albums. Maybe Jay-Z is one or two behind him. Somebody point me out if I'm right or wrong on that. I believe LL's on his 14th album or something like that. Last one I would remember was 13. You know what I mean? Exit 13, to be honest with you. But Jay-Z has since eclipsed LL Cool J. Jay-Z has run multiple successful labels. Jay-Z has put out albums that people are interested to the point where, you know, like people aren't really interested in LL Cool J album anymore. Ooh, raspberry runts. Okay. Let me hold on. Where's my shit? Where's my shit? Oh man. I had some pink runts on deck. I got some pink runts on deck right now. Yeah, you know I got that pink runts, man. That shit is fire too. Where is that shit? The hell's my lighter? Oh no. Hope that shit didn't make a hole. The last blunt I had rolled up, man, the shit was. I feel that Jay is highly overrated. Christian, what year were you born? Nah, he wasn't vice president. He was president, bro. God damn, come on, man. Damn, Christian has a valid opinion if he was born in 1984. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Jay-Z's not overrated in comparison to 50 Cent. Jay-Z's not overrated in comparison to 50 Cent. Jay-Z has had successful record labels. Jay-Z has had double the amount of successful albums. I mean, like, what are we listing as the criteria here, guys? Jay-Z has out-toured a guy like 50 Cent. You know what I mean? So what are we listing really for the criteria here? Jay-Z put out a flopped DMX album. Was that album put out on Rock Nation? Hey, Jay-Z almost sank Def Jam. Well, honestly, man, I think Jay-Z brought some of the best talent over to Def Jam. What do you mean? He brought Fabulous over to Def Jam for the From Nothing to Something album. Like, come on, man. What are you talking about? He brought you know what I mean? When did he leave Def Jam? When he started working with Rihanna and shit like that? He shelved Joe Budden. But yeah, nah, Jay-Z moved on from Def Jam because he got his chops as a president. That's why he left Def Jam, you guys. He didn't leave Def Jam because of a bad tenure, you know. Even though a lot of people have left Def Jam like that, like L.A. Reid going from Def Jam to Epic Records. And what year was that in D Money, and what label was that on? I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that, man. Jay-Z, you know, Jay-Z started with Rockefeller. Jay-Z started with Rockefeller. Then he went over to Def Jam, did that whole deal with Rockefeller where he ended up owning it again, you know, and then from there, he got a bigger deal than Def Jam. I think that's what he was talking about possibly when he's like, they gave me another deal. I'm talking 250. Nah, I'm holding out for 3. 275, and I just might agree. Do I think if Biggie were still alive that where Jay would be just where he is? That's a interesting question because Big had spoke on, putting together a record label. Big actually had a crazy eye for talent. Anything that Big would touch would turn into platinum. I imagine Little Cease's career would have been a lot different if Big was around. Kim's career would have continued to thrive. Junior Mafia as a group, so there's 3 projects right there aside from Big alone. Big was actually executive producing Puffy's albums and shit back then. So Big really had the ear for that shit. I forget what Big was going to call his label, but to answer your question, I mean, Jay-Z would have done the same thing that he was doing. Jay-Z would have still went to Philly. If you notice, he went to Philly and found some talent. He went there and first was looking for who we're talking about tonight, Gillie the Kid. He went to Philly and found Gillie and all them, the major figures. Deal didn't work out, so they put together State Property. That is totally different from the campaign that Biggie Smalls led, you guys. So, yeah, I think Jay-Z would have still done what he did and build his label like that. What happened with Foxy Brown? Interesting enough, she came up quite a few times, Christian, on the Drink Champs interview that Shyne did with Nori and EFN. You know, uh, Baby Boy with Un Rivera is another thing I did here. Would it have still been called Entertainment though if Biggie was there? I believe Dutch had told me about that shit with Dutch and Spade. Um, wasn't Biggie also interested in signing Cameron back then? We're on the introduction to the show, guys. Give us a half an hour to bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We got some interesting topics going on in here tonight. But remember, we have a hell of a main event. We're going to be talking about Jay Prince, Drake, and Meek Mill. Also, we got a funny ass story from Gillie. Gillie actually, talking about shit nowadays that you wouldn't expect him to talk about. When would we have ever expected to hear Gillie talking about the story of Jay Prince supposedly running him out of while he running him out of the street when he was parking lot pimping? You know what I mean? Like, we would never have heard about that unless Gillie had turned into this amazing podcast cat. Got major love for Gillie, man. I wish him nothing but the best in 2022. But I wish the best for all of you in this room viewing as well. Jerome Hunt, Jerome, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, bro, for that $4.99 super chat. If anybody wants their questions answered first, if anybody wants any question, even if it doesn't pertain to a topic answered, you can always send in a super chat. What happened with Foxy Brown? Okay, that's where we were at with this. So, what happened with Foxy Brown? Now, it's interesting because she was brought up a number of times on the Drink Champs podcast. She had actually done a couple features with Shyne. You know what I mean? Foxy Brown. I don't know what happened with her, to be honest with you. I haven't really done too much research about her career to see which labels she was actually signed to. You know what I mean? But it just seemed like she at one point she couldn't hear anymore. I remember hearing all types of crazy news stories about her. Yup. King C's, what up, bro? King C's, what's popping with you, man? Appreciate you tapping in tonight. He said, yeah, Cam was going to be signed to a big label. Interesting enough, now I think the timing was definitely different on this. You know what I'm saying? The timing was definitely different from when Big was interested in signing Cameron to when Jay and Dame eventually signed Cameron. It was a much different time, you know. Dame Dash brought them on thinking they were about to merge two major companies, and that just went horribly wrong. But you guys, let me bring in my co-host, my guy SV Twiz. Y'all know
Salute.
Twiz. That's the hood blogger right there.
Mikey, what's up, bro?
Everything's good, Twiz. You know, man, we got some shit to talk about tonight, man. We got some serious shit to talk about tonight. We got some comedic shit to talk about tonight. And then we got a resolution to talk about tonight with Shyne and 50 Cent, man. Did you
Okay.
get the opportunity to check out that Drink Champs interview with Shyne?
Yeah, I caught some of it. I didn't watch the whole joint, but I caught some of it, and yeah, they was getting into it on that joint, man. That was a good joint.
Hell yeah, man. Can you believe, first of all, let me just welcome SV Twiz to the show. Like I said, that's the hood blogger out of Philly. Y'all need to tap in with him, man. You ain't gonna find another guy on the scene like the hood blogger SV Twiz, man.
Appreciate it, Mikey.
So Twiz, man, how did it feel seeing Shyne in this light? This is Shyne like we never really seen him before. I mean, he's kind of wearing looking like diplomatic, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about the dip set.
Yeah, like it's crazy, man. Shyne just being from what he come from, you know what I mean? He was like, you know, he was a street guy, you know what I mean? So never in history have I seen someone come from the streets and then get in the position. Not only did he come from the streets, he did time for the little shooting situation, came home, got deported, and did what, you know, no one ever saw before. You know what I mean? Like, he put himself in a position to try to help people out where he from and everything. So it was like, you know, it's like amazing, and it just can show you, you know, with time and maturity that anybody can change, and it's like anything is possible, man. And I know over here, like in the United States of America, it's like you might not, say for instance you was in the streets and you want to get involved in politics.
Yep.
It is outlets, you know what I mean? You might not be no mayor or nothing like that, but I know plenty of OGs that, you know, did time and things of that nature, and they you know, mix up with the politics to help the youth, to try to give like felons good jobs and things like that. You know what I mean? Free food. So a big salute to Shyne, man.
Shyne, Po Obama. But
For
Twiz,
real.
that's interesting because something they addressed on Drink Champs, man, is that Shyne Poe was actually named after Al Poe. And I never really knew that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never knew that either.
Kind of crazy, right? Because Shyne was like a little bit elaborate. Like he kind of like to act like Alpo, I guess, in the sense that he would park his car on the sidewalk of the street. He would always be wearing flashy shit to make people remember him. Like that's just, I guess, how Shyne was after he inked not a $1 million deal with Puff, but a $2 million deal with Puff. Because I guess it was $1 million deal and then $1 million publishing. I guess you can't really fault him for taking that deal, Twiz.
No, it was a different day and time back then too. It ain't like nowadays where people was like, and you know, they be like, I'm worth more than that. You know what I'm saying? You hear 2 million, you know, early 90s and stuff like that, bro. Like, yeah, I need that. Yeah, I mean, I'm rich now. Yeah, I mean,
Yep. And Shyne actually went on to become something worth publishing, man. I mean, he had
facts.
That's Gangsta. He had a Bonnie and Shyne. He had
Facts.
you know what I mean? What else did he? Bad Boys. He
Yup.
had, you know what I mean? What remember that one that was called What You Gonna Do When Shit Hits the Fan?
Yup. He had some bangers, I think. And he
What you
had the
gonna
what's
do?
the
Shit
guy
hits
named
the fan.
Chevy Lincolnton or something like that? The dude that used to be on a lot of his songs, like on the hooks. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
Barry.
But yeah, yup, him, yeah. He was, you know, Sean was different, man. Then he had like the voice where it was Salute. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Much respect, y'all. He had like the voice where it was like his voice was just catchy, like how Big voice was catchy. So it's like, you know what I mean? His music always hit different, bro.
D Money says that Shyne ain't have $1 million. That's why he went to jail. Well, Shyne on the interview said that he went and bought a bunch of cars, and he bought some watches, and he bought all the iceberg type clothing. Are you
Yeah,
familiar with
Iceberg used to be jumping back then. Iceberg, with the Coogee sweaters, all that stuff was jumping. But the thing with Sean was it don't matter how much money he had witnesses against him. He had
that? Right.
live witnesses. That's what the big issue was, and that's what he was upset about.
Yeah, man. So now Shyne has actually spoke on his old beef with 50 Cent this past week on Drink Champs, or just the other day or today it was released. Now, this beef is one that, in my opinion, it didn't really get too far going, Twiz. Now, what was your take on these two New York MCs going at it? I mean, they did have diss tracks.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it because as successful as 50 is, 50 successful, but I feel like it should always be a level of homage and respect to those that was before you that was major. I don't care what your position is later on. You know, you don't gotta really try to crush because at the end of the day, it started with like 50 started going off publicly before anything. Sean was still in jail. But we noticed a change in Sean when he came home as far as music wise. So it was like his music wasn't hitting how it was before. He actually
Yeah,
sounded completely different.
50 had said on a mixtape, no. What I'm thinking of is what he said on Piggy Bank. He don't want it with me. He's in PC. Yeah, but so the next part of it is when, like you're saying, 50 Cent and them diss him on the mixtapes, but
Yeah.
also, but it's because of a reason they started dissing him on the mixtapes. I guess it's because Shaw Money actually called up to the jail and wanted to sign Shyne at this point, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you make of that whole thing, Twiz? So, Shaw Money, G Unit president, I believe at the time, calls to sign Shyne. Shyne still meeting with Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti coming to the jail. Fat Joe coming to the jail. Jay-Z coming to the jail. He takes a picture with Irv Gotti. But now the next thing you know, G Unit is dissing Shyne on mixtapes.
Well, we know the history between Murder Inc. and you know 50 and G Unit. But also with that being said, we got to remember who Irv Gotti is to the game. We're talking about a guy that put X on, you know, a guy that he put a lot of people on. And Irv Gotti name was in the game way longer than 50. So of course, Sean, what is Sean going to do? Like, you can't really put somebody like Sean in a position and think he not going to communicate with certain people. You know what I mean? It's not like him and 50 was homies growing up and that was they issue together and then he took a picture with him. You know, that would be different. But if that kind of triggered 50 Cent, you know, I don't really see too much sense of why that would be. I don't know what he would expect from Sean. On top of him sitting in jail and dealing with the situation he was dealing with.
Now, Shyne explained when he had first met Irv Gotti. I believe it's when he took a meeting with Leor Cohen and he was rapping and Irv Gotti was just right there, you know? But, man, Shyne said he tried to sign me when I was away. I was in a different place. I was bitter. I was upset. I had a lot of demons I was facing. I'm not in that space anymore. Twiz, if he would have signed the deal with 50 Cent back then, he's incarcerated. How would this deal have even worked out?
It wouldn't have been much. I don't know what this is probably, you know, 50 getting his feet wet and starting to play chess with people. Like, you know, did he fumble Sean? I'm gonna bring him back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna build him up. So I don't even understand why that was even a thought, because you don't hear about really too many artists that's in jail and people trying to set up deals with them while they in jail, especially for the kind of case Shyne had. I mean, like he was going to be coming home in 6 months or something like that.
So before we get into talking about the diss record a little bit and what Shyne had to say about it, and Shyne pretty much ending whatever beef is left with him and 50. Do you think Shyne regrets not taking that deal? I do believe he signed a $3.5 million deal with Def Jam and released The Godfather Buried Alive. But do you
Sure.
think there's any part of Shyne that regrets not going with G Unit?
No, I don't think so. Shyne is at a stage where he happy with his situation because he found the true path that he wanted to be in. For him to even be, say for instance, he came home and was still locked in the deal where he had to push music. You know, the music was too close to the streets for him, so he found his lane. You know what I mean? He found his lane. So I feel like, I feel like he's not regretting not signing with 50. And at the end of the day, as big as 50 was, I can't count out three artists that are super big even today, even counted with the G Unit artists, the main guys. You know what I mean? So it's not like it would have boosted Shyne's career, or Shyne wouldn't have boosted 50 situation. So I feel like he made out the best as he could make out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, getting $3.5 million, I believe. He
Hmm.
said he sent that bread to Mama Love. If anybody has, like, I know I had a question back then. Okay, Shine signing this deal. Where's the money going to? I thought I later heard that they froze his money. Um,
Hmm.
so then the album dropped, Godfather Buried Alive. Um, it actually had Sha Money XL, the recording of Sha Money XL on there, calling up Shyne saying, "Hey, we're interested in signing you to be a part of G Unit." What do you think about the fact that they left that actual recording and put that into the diss? Was that's kind of creative? Have you ever heard something like that in a diss song before, Twiz?
Oh man, when we talk about time frames, it's like not at that time. You know what I mean? It just showed you the type of animals that he was dealing with back then. You know what I mean? They was always trying to be strategic from the rip. You know what I mean? So I never heard of that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, another thing that Nori seemed floored about was the way that Shine promoted his album, from behind the wall. I mean, obviously, if
Hmm.
you're giving $3 million, you've got some money to budget. Apparently, he wrapped a Phantom. I guess he
Hmm.
wrapped a Phantom and had it driving all around. He had the couple guys that were really working with him driving around with it. And Nori was really floored by that. I mean, nowadays we see all types of shit. I know you see it out in Philly. You see like a truck driving by with like a big music video platform on it, and a
Hmm.
whole music video is playing driving through the streets and shit like that.
Hmm.
Um, Shine had a big billboard up, I guess, in front of the Brooklyn Bridge. You know,
Hmm.
Shine obviously knew what he was doing, to get his career started. It just sucks that he didn't get to finish his career. But is he in the best
Facts.
position possible for himself right now, Twiz, do you think?
Like I said, I feel like for his situation and you know, part of him repenting as a man and cleaning up the background. It's no different than like Loon or the brother from the Outlaws. You know what I mean? Where it's like they might not be super tied up in the rap industry, but if they feel like they doing something that's righteous, because when you experience the money and things of that, them guys, a lot of them guys don't be happy inside. So, he just seems as though he's proud of what he's really doing, bro. Like he proud, you know what I mean? The only other thing that he could have been did that was probably different was be like more of an entrepreneur in the music business. but who knows if he wanted to be that closely attached to it. You know what I mean? So just to me, just hearing him talk, seeing how he carry himself, it seemed like he's proud of himself. You know what I mean? During the time of him rapping, we ain't hear him talk too much. We just heard the good music he was putting out. You know what I mean? But from the time of him getting locked up to now and everything, you just hear he got like a different energy inside of him. You know what I mean? So I feel like he doing as good as he could for himself. He might not be the richest man in the world or nothing like that, but if he can change people's lives and if that's what put a smile on his face, then salute to him.
So let me ask you, man. Let me put you on the spot, Twiz. Is
Mhm.
Shyne going to become the prime minister of Belize, in your opinion? Do you think in the next 8 years or, the next 12 years, something along those lines, maybe 8, possibly 4? I'm not sure what their terms are, but do you think he will be the prime minister of Belize?
I think anything possible. We seen Trump become president. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I just feel like to over there, he got to prove to them that he's not that same guy, that he won't be put in position, and think like he in the streets. So right now, that's what I feel like he trying to prove his loyalty and his drive that he have, to really help them out over there. The only thing that I think could help maybe is a little bit of support even from, America. You see guys like Diddy and he even did an interview with Diddy. And guys be connected, man. So who knows, man? I think anything possible. Long as he continue to strive, if that do fall through for him, that would be iconic, legendary. You know what I mean? So that would be thrilled to see that.
That's what's up, man. So Shyne did the record. He did the joint for the record over the phone, but now Shyne has toasted to 50 Cent. He did a toast to him. And here's what he had to say. He said that he appreciates all the success that 50 is having, the longevity, the transition from the Grammy Awards to the multi-platinum artist to becoming a writer and a producer of films and shows. And Shyne had to mention that he is also into these spirits as well. I do have to say it seemed like Shyne was ready to drink on the show, even though he was like, I'm a member of the House of Representatives, brother. I'm a member of the House of Representatives. I gotta conduct myself. But 50 is obviously with the spirits. Twiz, have you tried any of 50 Cent's liquors?
No, I haven't tried any of them. What he got? The effing?
He
He
had
got
effing at
effing,
one
right?
point. I tried effing. Probably the best one was the cherry. The cherry effing was probably the best one.
Yeah.
Now he has the Bronson. I think it's called the Bronson or something like that. Cognac. I haven't tried that. And then
Okay.
he has a champagne as well, a Liquemadore. I'd have to ask somebody how to say that one, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
I never drank none of his Johns. Me personally.
Have you ever drank any rapper drinks?
Yeah, I drank Douce.
Yep, that's a good
Back in
choice.
the day, we was drinking that Armadale. You know what I mean? Damon was promoting that heavy, like, you know what I mean. And we can't forget Ciroc. Everybody done drunk Ciroc before,
Right.
so.
Ciroc is the most popular. De
Hmm.
Leon is. I'm seeing a lot of people start to carry the De Leon too.
True.
That
True.
tequila, because tequila is just a little bit different. Because you got a tequila, you got your vodka, and then with
Hmm.
J, you got your cognac with that Douce.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got 3 different types of liquors right there. Of course, Gillie and Wallow, they promote the what joint,
The Amsterdam.
yeah,
The
they
new
promote
Amsterdam.
the Amsterdam. They promote the new Amsterdam joint. And Gillies are actually our next topic, man. We're gonna have to get into that, man. One of the most funny stories that I never would have thought I'd hear Gillie telling, but podcasting has just opened Gillie up to sharing his world with the public, Twiz.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So Shyne dug into it, but he didn't really want to get into it too much, man. You know, he kind of wanted to leave it alone about the 50 Cent thing. Why do you think that is? Just because of his political
Because
affiliations? He doesn't want to bring up past beef?
of political situations and because he don't want to be jammed up in a question where he might answer and 50 might take offense to it and 50, we know what 50 do. And Sean don't want none of that on his name, you know what I mean? And it just wouldn't look good, man. You
He
know what I
doesn't need
mean? Like
50. He doesn't need 50, like finding out when his next election is and saying, don't
exactly.
vote for Shyne on Monday, right?
Exactly.
Right? Because then
Exactly.
nobody is going to go vote on Monday if 50 does. 50 has a history of doing this shit. Whatever he posts
Exactly.
on his social media, people do. I bet you after he allegedly bought those Ja Rule tickets, I bet you like 1,000 people actually just threw their ticket away. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he the king of crushing people, man. So
Hell yeah, man. 50 smart with that shit. So
he is.
so Shine said that wasn't my issue. Irv was my brother. 50 Cent, the 50 Cent shit wasn't because Irv came to see me. Because Nori was saying, was the issues with 50 because Irv came to see you, took a
Okay.
picture. 50 could have been a little bit like, yo, I'm talking business with you and you're talking to my enemies. Even though you broke down earlier, 50 shouldn't have been on that type of time, especially if
Hmm.
he's talking business, trying to talk business with Shine. Um,
Definitely.
so Shine said certain things meant something to me. And then he went on, and I don't want to go down that route again because that's not my issue. I don't have the details, and that's not my thing. I was just going with my brother. Now, that is definitely in regard to Irv touting the snitching paperwork. And he says, I don't have the details, and that's not my thing. Like, he doesn't have the details of somebody actually snitching. And that's a violation to be talking about shit like that if it's not even accurate. So it's like
Hmm.
Shine's got to kind of pull himself away from that 100%.
True. True. It's too. I mean, you can't get tied up in the streets, man. You know what I mean? Too close.
But right there, certain things meant something to me. His friendship with Irv Gotti made him dislike 50 Cent. Is what that says to me, Twiz.
I'm not gonna say it made him probably dislike him. It's just like you my friend, so we friends regardless. Like, this other guy, he's just coming. This is like business, so I'm not gonna say that he just sided with Irv and that started the issue. But he was gonna if your friend coming down to you and sitting and talking to you, you're gonna take his advice more than an outsider. Because at that time, when Sean got locked up, 50 was still like mixtapes and things like that. You know what I mean? He wasn't the 50 that he became at that time. So it's like, if I'm not mistaken, what year did Sean get locked up? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
No, you're right. It was in like '01. It was like in
yeah,
2001.
yeah, like he was super lit at that time. So,
50
he
was in
didn't
50 was almost in the Get Rich or Die Trying stage. He was in like the power,
exactly,
not the Get Rich or Die Trying, the G Unit mixtape phase. He was in the Power of the Dollar phase as well.
exactly. He was going off through that where he was at a era where he was coming at other rappers, trying to get on the come up. So it's like, him and
Shine,
Irv, like,
Shine had told me one time he went to Daddy's house studio, Puff Daddy's recording studio, and 50 was actually writing for Diddy. So that's the point of his career he was at. He wasn't known. He was known to be helping people in the studio.
okay, he was behind the scenes. That's heavy.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, man, this whole situation with Shine, it's crazy to see his growth. Putting
Hmm.
back. We've seen him put aside the issue with Diddy a while ago. It's good to see, like you said, Twiz. They did an interview together. He put
Facts.
he put aside the issues with Rick Ross, which I think a lot of people didn't understand. Shyne saying a lot of shit cost him a lot of relationships, like when he came out and dissed Kendrick Lamar, and then the game. Yeah, man. He said Kendrick Lamar's music wasn't all that good. Are you a Kendrick Lamar guy, Twiz?
Not no super Kendrick Lamar fan. What I like his lyrics, but I don't sit around and listen to his music like that. Y'all
All
mean
right, so
he make great music though.
Kendrick Lamar or Shyne on that DJ Khaled album? Which one are you listening to?
If I listen to Shyne, it's all throwback Shyne.
Yeah, that's gangster.
Yeah, it's all throwback Shyne. But Kendrick got a deeper message in his music though.
Shyne wanted to have a deeper message in his music. He wanted to go a little bit more conscious, is what he's saying.
Yeah, but that John, his music, like at the end, it was like that ain't Shyne. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
that joint, that joint wasn't hitting right. He sound completely different on them joints. Like what they do to Shyne in there, man.
Yeah, man. It sounded totally weird when he was like,
Like that's a
yeah,
clone.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm doing?
yeah. He make you turn your headphones down. Like, bro, you gonna bust an eardrum out or something, man.
Yeah, why is he doing that? Just do it like,
Uh,
rap it. Don't go, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know what I'm
like
doing up here?
all he had to do was come back and had the same Sean flow, Sean voice. Even if he would have switched the message, that joint would have still been hitting. It's
But
like, damn, bro, was that really your voice back then, or did you create? I mean,
what I always say, Twiz, is that we didn't get to grow with him over the years to see and hear his voice change, which is why when he came out 9 years later or whatever, that it took us by storm like that. Or do you think I'm absolutely wrong?
our people voices normally don't change like that unless it was some type. It's like if
Twiz is
Diddy get
still
on
on it. What did
if
he go through in there?
exactly like if Diddy get on the track, he's still gonna sound like Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like Mace rap, he still sound like Mace. You know what I mean? But Sean
Right.
sound completely different, bro. Like not just the flow, his voice and everything. It's like, damn, bro.
So let's move on to our next topic, man. I appreciate going over that whole thing right there with Shyne. I'm sure everybody's gonna watch his interview on Drink Champs with Nori. So, but Gillie broke down a crazy situation. I guess it was his introduction to Houston at the beginning of his career with the Ghetto Boys on the
Mhm.
Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast. So Gillie and Wallow have really been making their rounds, doing all these podcasts. I really think they should do the Hot Wings show. Do you think there's a
Mhm.
potential of that, Twiz?
Yeah, that's a good idea right there. You talking about where they do the joint where they get hotter every joint or something like that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
that would be a good joint.
Yep.
I
So Wallow had brought up when Gillie was signed to Tony Draper and Suave House
Mhm.
Records. Now, this was before Gillie actually signed with Cash Money and Birdman when he was working with Lil Wayne and all those guys. Now, Gillie brought up this crazy story in Texas about Jay Prince, 8 Ball, and MJG that we're going to get into. But Twiz, what did you make of Gillie getting signed to Suave House in the first place? Like, did it take you by storm? After all this talk of Jay-Z and Rockefeller?
Yeah, well, at that time we talking about the '90s where it was like, a deal was a deal. So Gil and them was smart enough to know as successful as Jay-Z and Rockefeller was, they wasn't offering them what they wanted. Gil had to think for his whole team. Like, bro, we all, whoever, if it is gonna be a deal, and I'm not getting signed as a solo artist, then that bread got to be broken down a little better. He like, if I get signed by myself, then I need this amount. So I feel like he knew his net worth, and you know, Gil is definitely a hustler, man. Because at the time of the years he was doing these things, the only other people that was really doing it like that was like Master P and them. You know what I mean? Then you had like the Cash Money situation and all of that, but like Master P was like the only one as far as coming up from their hood and getting they self popular without rushing to these people. Like they came for Gil. Like, you know what I mean? Gil wasn't chasing down no records. His name was they was lit.
So ultimately, Twiz, when he signed with a Texas-based label,
Hmm.
what did you think about that? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
could you believe that a Texas-based label had picked him up? I mean, later on, or I mean, we had seen what happened with Dr. Dre and Eminem, Dr. Dre and Eminem
yeah,
and 50 Cent in 2003. But what do you make now? I guess in retrospect, or even back then, Texas being the area that actually picked Gil up.
it was shocking because most of the time it will always be New York. You know what I mean? Most of the time people will be getting connected right with New York coming from Philly. You know what I mean? New York always had like the record companies and all of that, and they was always connected to Philly. You know what I mean? New York and Philly was always connected. So it actually is shocking that this is like we talking about no internet era. Everything is like word of mouth and you know this person telling somebody about that person. So it's actually amazing that he was able to get connected with somebody all the way from Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Suave House, no joke. They had 8 Ball and MJG.
Hmm.
They had Jazzy Faye. Even at one point, they released an album from Rick Ross. So Gillie was actually in good company, and it seemed like he had formed a good relationship with Tony Draper, or so I thought, until Gillie said in this interview on the Ghetto Boys
Hmm.
Reloaded that he would never go to another club with Tony Draper, man. I mean, it wasn't really a club though, man. It was kind of some parking lot pimping, man. Is parking lot pimping not really a thing in Philly?
No, Philly ain't Philly. What Philly won't like you got certain states where they party outside, they do things of this like out Philly, bro. If anything, if you're not necessarily in the club let outs be like major. You know what I mean? Certain areas in the city just be jumping on certain nights. If anything, you got like block parties and stuff like that. A lot of that going on out Philly, especially like throughout the summertime and things of that nature. But not really just chilling in the parking lot with 100 cars out that joint.
So, man, what did you think when you heard Gillie breaking this down, man?
It was funny, man.
Gillie was out there with 8 Ball.
Uh-huh.
When 8 Ball screamed, "There goes Jay Prince. Get in the car." So, what do you make of that whole situation? I mean, Gillie's out there with these other dudes from his label. They're telling you to do something, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, not even if they from your label. If I'm out Chicago with some guys that I trust, and I'm out here with them. They could be straight street guys. They get busy. So if they on that type time, like get up out of here. Like, come on, come on, come on. What you gonna do? Stand there? You're not even from out there. You ain't got no point to prove. It was funny how he was explaining it though. You know what I mean? But he did what he was supposed to do. He would have been a fool to stand there and not seeing Jay Prince was coming to do something, but he ain't know who Jay Prince was. He ain't like he said, he was waiting to that's what you gonna assume, like, bro, somebody about to start throwing it. Like I'm out here, I ain't got nothing on me. And you know what I'm saying? You out here for business. It's like, man, listen, you gonna
Well,
follow the
Twiz,
protocol.
from what Gillie said, Gillie gets in the vehicle and then he sees the driver sort of kind of getting under the. So you get in the whip and you seeing your driver getting under the steering wheel. How are you
Yeah,
feeling about that?
you waiting to hear that wop 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 wop. You just waiting any second to hear it, like, oh yeah, this guy's shooter. They I mean, whoever they talking about, these dudes already going to war. They got a war going on. There's some money involved. There's something, bro. Then it make you look at who you around out here, like, bro, like, what's up with y'all, man? Like, what y'all owe somebody some bread? This is like, what's going on?
Is it bread? Is it, I'm looking it up. There's a lot of videos about the history of Rap A Lot and Suave House. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking maybe it's because they're two major labels, or one's or an earlier label and the other one is gaining prominence
Mm-hmm.
out of Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like you see in New York, you see labels, go to war, bidding wars. You see artists from labels going to war with each other, you know? So that's sort of what I chalked
Facts.
it up to.
Facts. That's facts, bro. And it ain't no secret where they spoke on how Jay Prince moved or whatever. You know, Jay Prince probably came to them with a proposition and they probably was spinning him, not getting back to him. They're like, oh, there you go. You know what I'm saying?
Well, somebody in the chat was actually saying that Jay Prince was there to talk to 8 Ball and MJG.
Yeah, he probably was. That's what I'm saying. It probably was like, you know how somebody can you know, like people said, Jay Prince was a serious guy. He is a serious guy. So it's like if he was trying to reach out to them for a minute or trying to get in contact to him with them or calling them and they not answering, they just spinning him off, and now he finally see him and they don't want to get addressed. They don't know how he gonna come. So them being industry guys, and I don't know who them guys are specifically as far as street credibility or what they've been through. But if they just guys of business, they scared like, oh, they go a real G right there. He might come up and run in my pockets or something like that. We up out of here.
Well, I mean, 8 Ball and MJG have obviously kept on the scene consistently for quite some time, man. I
Okay.
mean, didn't they pop up they popped up at the Versus doing the Stay Fly record with
Oh yeah, true.
yeah, you know what I mean? Those guys have
True.
really, but I'd heard back in the day, a couple interviews that I'd done back in the day, like a lot of people in the street would want to approach 50 Cent when he was getting on. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So, a lot of maybe, how Suge Knight, I mean, look at Suge Knight. He was running around taking interviews with Juvenile, P.D.
True.
Pablo, Shay Davis, and you know what I mean? So you could only imagine what Jay Prince wanted to go holler at 8 Ball and MJG about, maybe a signing potentially, maybe an album that they owed him. Who the hell knows?
That's a fact. That's a fact. Whatever it was, they wasn't trying to deal with that. They're like, we gonna run, bro.
So let me see right here. So Gillie was tight about this situation, telling Tony Draper that he would never go back to the club after having to run from a guy named Jay Prince. He's like, I had to run from a guy named Jay Prince. Now, as we all know, Jay Prince has, he's one of the biggest names in the industry, one of the names that you don't want to mess with, probably a name that'll have people backing down on the level of Suge Knight in the 90s, based on what
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get into in just a second. But Twiz, man, I want to ask you, man, just because you've been a fan of Gillie for so long, I don't imagine this is a story we would have heard Gillie tell on Sub-Zero back in the day when he was promoting one of the King of Philly projects.
No, he wouldn't have did that. Certain things like at that time, it was probably more shocking to him earlier in his career. But when you get older and your things just start changing for you, you can pull up things and they become jokes. You know what I mean? Like at that time, it wasn't a joke. You know what I mean? So like now he can sit back and laugh about all of that.
Yep. And yeah, now he can sit back and laugh about all of that because he's got a podcast. Now he's got a platform to tell his
Exactly.
stories, his full stories.
Exactly.
So he can get the whole, you know what I mean? If he felt the need after doing this interview, he could go on his podcast and just break the whole story down if he felt like anybody was misinterpreting what he said.
Yeah, because like you said, if he would have said it back then, it could have messed with his credibility. Like, bro, what you saying? It don't even sound right. You know how people be.
You
You know what I
telling
mean? They
everybody that you got ran out of Houston by Jay Prince, bro? Like, no, 50 Cent's not going to want to bring you to Jimmy Iovine if you're telling that story.
Yeah, it don't. You can't just say that on any old platform when you trying to come up. But him at the stage that he at, he feel like people already knew what it was with him. before he was a rapper and even coming up as a rapper. We didn't see him, you know, not really back down from nobody. You know what I mean?
So we could have a good laugh at his expense. That's what's great about
exactly,
Gillie.
exactly.
Now,
And he didn't.
Twiz. Now,
What would you,
what were you saying? He didn't run?
no, I was saying that he didn't run
No, he didn't
directly from.
run.
Yeah, it wasn't directly like like somebody came at him and he ran. It's like he going off of
Kidding
what the
me?
people.
That was
You know what I
Eight
mean?
Ball and MJG, and we're gonna get into this in
Exactly.
a second. I mean, that's Eight Ball and MJG. You know, those are your label mates. Like you said, Twiz. Even if it's just some dudes who you're in their neighborhood with them, and they tell you, "Yo, it's time to get up out of here." You know,
Yeah,
time to get moving. But
exactly.
so, Twiz, if Gillie would have stayed, would there have been static with Jay Prince? Now, I understand why 8 Ball or 8 Ball and MGG couldn't leave Gillie there. Because imagine they leave him there, they jet out of there. They're just looking crazy now. You don't leave your label
Hmm.
mate, you don't leave your friend, whatever it is, in a tense altercation like that. So, what do you think? But would have been any static if Gillie would have got left, or would they have just introduced themselves to each other?
Of course not, man. Gil from Philly, bro. You know what I mean? He got that Philly energy. Not saying Gil would have been super tough, but you know, our city, we connect with everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like people from wolves from different cities and states, they respect each other when they link up. It's gonna be a mutual respect. Where if Gil wouldn't even had left, they would have just probably been networking right away. Prince would have been like, you know, damn, I like this guy character. Gil being who he is and having, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, it definitely wouldn't have been no static. You know what I mean? Jay Prince not really that type of guy. He,
Red
you
Hook,
know,
Brooklyn. Red Hook,
he,
Brooklyn on the check-in.
if anything, Prince probably would have told him about them guys he was with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see these guys, they just left you and probably gave them the rundown on what he felt about them.
Right, but 8 Ball and MJG weren't really moving like that. But
Hmm.
nonetheless, man, Gillie had said, like, man, I'm not going to no more clubs or parking lot pimping with you, Tony Draper. Um,
Facts, I wouldn't either.
ultimately, what did you think about, Gillie being on Suave House? Obviously, not a bad label to be on. We saw,
No,
you know what I'm saying? We saw 8 Ball and MJG go on to sign with Bad Boy. We saw Rick Ross go on to sign with Jay-Z and Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? So Gillie
facts.
really had an opportunity there to continue building his platform, in my opinion.
Facts, it was a step to help you build your platform. You got some machines behind you. And on top of that, you getting capital to put towards your next moves, man. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, it was definitely official.
Just Cuz says Jay Prince is too solid, wasn't worried about Gillie.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely wasn't worried about Gil, and Gil was never saying it like, "Oh, he was coming for me." He was just out there with them guys. You know, he how he explained it. He ain't do nothing wrong. It was just funny how he was explaining it. You know what I mean,
Yeah, no, for real, man. I think Gillie just used it as an opportunity to tell a funny story. You know what I'm saying, Twiz?
facts, funny, and what make it funnier is it's true. And then you can just picture it. You know how he explained it. You can like see it happening.
Yeah, you really can, man. But like I said, man, Gillie back in the day might not have felt comfortable sharing this, but now he's really adapted and quicker than most.
Hmm.
Because I watch podcasts with people, and podcasting is about sharing truths from your real life, man. And a lot of people
Well,
out there just aren't ready to tell the truth, Twiz.
that's what separate a fraud from somebody that keep it real. I don't care how gangster you is. Even speaking on Jay Prince, you know, he got stories that he could talk about where, you know, he might have had the short end of the stick or whatever, man. So, you know, it come with growth, you know what I mean? And being comfortable in your own skin. You don't gotta walk around like you were successful at every situation, like you won every battle or or you never had one of those moments, man, that just shows you somebody that's comfortable in their own skin. Because
Word,
most of the time with them type of stories, you hear it from the other party, like the people that did it or somebody that was there. Picture if somebody else would have brought that story up. Like I remember we seen Gillie out there out in Houston running, jumping in the car with them. Then it would have looked crazy because then he would have had to try to explain it. So,
damn,
for him,
nobody ever did. Nobody ever
yeah,
did either.
exactly.
Yeah, because Gillie doesn't just be beefing with anybody.
It's no
Gillie,
different.
yeah, Gillie just doesn't start beefing with somebody out the blue. He doesn't give anybody a
Facts.
reason to feel a certain way about him on the real.
Facts. That's like if somebody spin your block and start chopping on your block and you outside. If you duck behind a car, you try to get out of there. Do that make you a sucker? Real rap, man. Love, you already know. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it don't make you no sucker if you value your life.
All
You
right,
gonna think
Twiz.
strategically.
So Devon Gilbert is looking at it from the opposite side of the coin. He's saying it could have went the same way if Jay Prince was in Philly with someone Gillie had problems with. It could have went the same way in Philly. Gillie is
No,
really somebody in Philly.
yeah, that's a fact.
Gillie had problems with somebody that was with Jay Prince, and Gillie was about to pull up. The guy who had problems with Gillie would be like, "Yo, Prince, let's dip up out of here, man," because he wouldn't want Jay Prince to be around that problem. I assume is what Devon is saying.
Facts. Like I know if I'm in a situation and I got somebody with me that's not from that hood, you would get that person out of there like, bro, go ahead, just go right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like go ahead in the crib. Don't necessarily mean we would have all ran. The people that's out there, we involved in it, and we going to chill and deal with the person. But if you got somebody in your hood, you responsible for that person's safety. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest things. You know what I mean? So at least they did take Gil with them. You know what I mean? They ain't just run like, hold this popcorn and pull off on them or nothing like that.
Right. And like from what Gillie said, the next thing he knew, he was back with Tony Draper. So it's like, okay, shit's about to pop off. Let's go back to the studio. We're with the artists. We're not with our guys from the block tonight.
Exactly.
So, man, unless there's anything you want to say to end off this portion of the show about Gillie, the Ghetto Boys Reloaded, in the hilarious story that he told, one of 1,000 stories, one of 1,000 hilarious stories he tells, we can move on to the next topic, Twiz.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't nothing but salute to Gil, man. He doing his thing, and I mean, it's great that because we all know for Gil, even during his rap career, his character to me always overshadowed everything. Like, not saying he wasn't talented as a rapper, but he was just one of them guys. Like his interviews and him just talking, like you said on Sub-Zero, he just brought a certain energy, man. So it's good to see him to find the lane for him to win. And man, shout out to him and Wildlow, man.
So Twiz, let me ask you before we move on, since you went there with it. How much do you think Gillie signing with Interscope would have impacted his career rather than taking the Get Down on the Ground record over to E1?
I don't think it don't matter who Gil signed with. I don't think his music career would have been too high. You know what I mean? Because it's like Gil was the man like in the 90s when people like, how people used to rap back then. Like they had that lit flow. Like I'm talking about early Major Figure days. They had that flow. You had people like them and Philly Most Wanted, where y'all might hear these guys, if y'all listen to they style of rap, it was like kind of similar. That was the way of rapping. So as times change and stuff like that.
Wiz tonight on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast told Gillie that his flow was aggressive. It was like a battle rapper flow, is what Wiz told Gil.
It was. It was like it was. He do got like an aggressive flow, but he can calm it down too though. But certain Jones he do got like he stretch his words out, and he put exclamation points behind his sentences when he rap. Like he make it stand out. But I feel like it don't matter who he signed with. I feel like he'd be more successful as like a actor or like what he doing now. You know what I mean? I feel like that rapping was just like him getting his foot in the game so the world can know who he is. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's more talented just being himself. You know what I mean? You can put him in a good movie role, he going to do his thing on it. You know what I mean?
Well, Gillie did say in one of our past interviews that he had got a script. He was reading a script where he and Vin Rhames were potentially going to play Tupac and Suge Knight. Do you remember that? Well,
I
what's your
didn't.
take on that, Twiz? Gillie as Tupac, Vin Rhames as Suge Knight. Could it have worked at all?
No, they would have had to switch complexions or something, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Gil too light to be Pac, and Suge. I mean, and Ving Rhames a little too dark to be Suge. So it's like that wouldn't have made no sense. They would have messed that movie up right there.
That's interesting, Twiz. That's definitely an interesting note right there. But yeah, man, Gillie actually, I had reached out to Gillie to be in my brother Jeremiah Kipp's new film Slapface horror movie. Gillie couldn't do it. Gillie couldn't do it. Hopefully in the future I could get him in one of my brother's movies. But
Definitely.
Slapface is actually dropping on Shudder this year, 2022. I'm gonna let everybody know when my brother's film
That's heavy.
the horror film is dropping on Shudder, you guys. Everybody should know what Shudder is. It's pretty much the horror movie hub.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's like the Netflix of horror films. But
Thanks.
now, Twiz, our main event tonight, man. We had a couple great topics. It's a triple threat show. We had Shyne going on Drink Champs and basically, he basically taken away all that gangster shit he did in the past. You know what I mean? And he's reformed his life a little bit, which is cool.
True. Definitely.
We spoke about Gillie, and you had a lot of insightful shit to say about that. We went real deep on that. But now we have to talk about Meek Mill and Drake. First of all, Twiz, why the hell did that get so rough in the first place? Why did that seem to get so heated? Was it Quentin Miller even got hemmed up in the shoe store? The guy who was doing some of the track recordings and shit. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, well, that whole situation stemmed from Meek once he said about Drake not even writing his own music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that's where the whole joint stemmed from. And you know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like certain people can get away with doing certain things. For some reason, Meek is just one of them artists where don't nobody let him get away with saying nothing. But you might have somebody like 50 that could say the most degrading stuff to somebody, and everybody, they love it, they laugh, and they be into it.
All right, Twiz. But so a guy doesn't write his own music.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to beat him up for that?
No, it wasn't beating him up for. It wasn't beating him up
for 50. 50 can go on social media and make fun of somebody. It's not like he's going to be looking for them the next week. That's what we're talking about tonight. Why did Meek Mill find the need to go and start finding these guys and start attacking them?
Because once the disrespect started coming back, I guess that's just the route, he wanted to take. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, back to back, right?
Yeah, it's like it ain't like he just said that about Drake and then went out looking for him, or said this about somebody and then start. You know what I mean? It's like Meek and you got like the Dream Chasers and all that, where it's like, it'd be like an on-site thing. But one thing I can say about him is the most you're gonna get from them is them putting hands on you. You ain't gotta worry about, like, they understand their success. It ain't like they're gonna be shooting at you or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, they taking it to the old school Pac days where like Pac go through it with somebody. If he see them at a show or they coming out, Pac could go up and start punching on them. So that's pretty much what I got out of it. But I think Meek, I don't like how Meek didn't respond to him. Meek coming from where he come from and him rapping how he rapped before he was even signed. I feel like he should have had some real smoke for Drake. It would have been entertaining. And it's been like years since we really heard a good back and forth. And seeing even with him and Pusha T what they went through, it shows you that as good of an artist as Drake is, you can defeat that man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to music, if it's on the battle type time.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what made Meek Mill want to take this thing to the next level. I mean, what he said things like, let's see, he said, I waited 4 days. Where y'all at? I drove here in the Wraith playing AR-AB. I'm not sure what it really was that made y'all mad, but I guess this is what I got to do to make y'all rap. I mean, whoa. Can't fool the city, man. They know what's up. Second floor at Tootsie's, getting shoulder rubs. I used to love doing that. Tootsie's, and I hope he's talking about the Tootsie's in Fort Lauderdale. But so is this what it was, Twiz, when he said, you love her, then you got to give the world to her. Is that a world tour or your girls tour? So things like this is what made Meek Mill want to like take it to the physical level, you think?
Absolutely. And he stirred up a little beef in Philly, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, with the little Dream Chasing OBH situation. Like,
Okay.
it was getting real. You know what I'm saying? It was getting real in all angles. It ain't like they was just on Drake. It was a lot of stuff going on around that time. So it was like, at the end of the day, that was their way of dealing with stuff.
Yep, that's a good point. You know what I mean? When you get
Uh-huh.
to the point where you're actually starting to cause issues in somebody's own city, then you are going to take it to a physical level. I see what you're saying there, Twist. Now, let me ask
Exactly.
you, and also I'm going to ask the chat, what do you guys know about Tiffy Bay? Twiz, what do you know about Tiffy Bay?
To keep it clean, man, he's solid and he's very impactful for the city. His family impactful. You know what I mean? It's like then you got like his uncle and all that, Daoud Bey and all them,
Bang
like
him and Mikey T the movie star.
they really make stuff happen in the city. You know what I'm saying? So it's like how Ab was impactful. You got Tiffy impactful. Tiffy from the P, from South Philly, man. So it's like, you know, um, he just one of them guys where he was trying to, make things happen, man. He very impactful, well connected in every hood out Philly and things of that nature. So he definitely a big name, man. I can, keep it there, you know what I'm saying?
Now, Twiz, I'm not sure if you've heard this. I'm not sure if anybody in the chat has heard this. Anybody watching this video has actually heard this. This is an interview that I did with Tiffy. We actually shot 2 interviews. This is actually on the internet right now, but I want to show everyone this, and then Twiz and myself are going to respond to it. So, Twiz, I'm going to mute our mics right now, and we're going to go into the video clip. I hope everyone.
Report card radio.
When the static with Drake and Meek picked up, did that shake Dream Chasers?
Shake Dream Chasers, fuck no. Niggas was happy as shit. We was rocking on it. You know what I mean? We was rocking on it. Not happy, but you know what I'm saying? Not happy, but like motherfucker love competition. You know what I'm saying? So we was happy to see 2 greats go at it. You know what I'm saying? On the battle, lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Musically. You know what I'm saying? Every level. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? In my eyes, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't bad. Like niggas had to kill each other or some shit like that. It was a good thing for hip hop.
Well, tour money was up.
Everything. Meek is up. Meek is the guy. You know what I'm saying?
I just think a lot of people thought Meek had an arsenal of records. Like, I think people thought he had a little library of Drake disses ready to go or
Yeah,
something.
no. Why? Nobody on plan. Most people ain't. Nobody ain't playing for that shit.
Now, Twiz, right there, he goes into what you were speaking on, being a little bit disappointed that Meek Mill didn't actually respond right away. What's your take on his response right there to that?
Well, my take on his response right there is like, at the end of the day, nobody expected Meek to have diss tracks ready for Drake. But your job as an artist is to put that pen straight to the pad when those type of things go on. You don't just sit back and let that thing slide, because even though it was a lot of attention on Meek, people was waiting to hear like, all right, Meek, where the response at? You know what I mean? You can't just let that joint slide right there, where we could have had. It's no different than, and this always one of my epic back and forths I go to is like Rockefeller versus D Block versus the Locks. You want that. You want that excitement. You bomb back. You know what I'm saying? Drake, even if you had some dream chasers jump on the joint, let that joint show some entertainment, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody really expected. You know what I mean?
So, basically, Twiz, the records that he released, the one with the Undertaker theme music, and then he released another one with O'Malley. Do you remember what it was called? It was called like War something.
I don't remember the name of it. I know what you're talking about, though.
Wow. So Meek Mill's diss records really went under the radar. But let's get back into this.
Whatever happened with the Quentin Miller shit and whatever else, and
I think people thought he had a little library of Drake disses ready to go or
yeah,
something.
no. Why? Nobody on plan. Most people ain't. Nobody ain't playing for that shit. Whatever happened with the Quentin Miller shit and whatever else, and you know what I mean? That shit was. It just came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Shocked everybody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't believe that shit. Drake. Who gonna believe somebody writing a Drake record? Nobody.
Was that a battle you could have seen getting violent though? Or was it going to be kept on record?
No, Drake. I don't think. I don't think. No. Nobody ain't want to get violent. We wanted to approach the situation and see what was the deal. That's why we went down there to the show. And nobody
Let's address
was
that a battle you could have seen getting violent?
for that shit. Whatever happened with the Quentin Miller shit and whatever else, and you know what I mean? That shit was. It just came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Shocked everybody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't believe that shit. Drake. Who gonna believe somebody writing a Drake record?
Who's going to believe somebody's writing a Drake record? Like nobody wanted to believe it at that time, but it was Meek Mill exposing that to the world, right? Or who was it that exposed that to the world?
Meek is the one that I've known that really, put it out there on such in a public manner. You know what I mean? And when you hear another artist in the industry that was around these guys, and you know what I'm saying, you gonna be like, damn, it must be true. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Also,
happens with all of them.
there was some alleged factors that DJ Drama was involved with it too, as well, from what I remember.
Facts. Also, the same thing happened with Kanye, man. When Kanye and Drake had their little back and forth, Drake was like, tell him who did Father Stretch My Hands and things like that. So it's like, you could be as great as an artist. The greatest artists, most of the time, they do have people helping them out at times. They might not write every word or whatever, but that's just part of what successful celebrities do. They bounce energy off of each other, and they might have a no-name guy in the studio. That's where the ghostwriters come in effect, man, where it be like people, rappers that we might have known from back in the day, and you be like, damn, these guys is really still around behind scenes, like people that could really rap but never was like superstars for years. Sometimes these guys be behind scenes with these guys. No different than like you said earlier. you said 50 was, you know, in the studio with people like Hove and things like you'd be surprised, man.
So
I mean Diddy, I think you said.
yeah, exactly. So Twiz, had you ever heard of Meek Mill and Drake coming face to face in Philly, or almost coming face to face in Philly? I know there were
Yeah,
big rumors about Meek Mill and French, but we're not talking about that tonight. Did you ever hear the rumors in Philly when Drake performed in Philly? It might have been when Drake was performing with Future. Am I mistaken? Tell me.
I didn't hear them coming like face to face, but I heard of them like coming to a show and all of that, and you know, allegedly approaching them.
Really?
Yeah,
You figured that was bound to happen? Meek wanted to go face to face with Drake.
yeah. I mean, I figured it would have happened, especially you know, eventually at around this time where these guys was really, you know, a lot of these artists they be doing like tours and things, especially if you come into a certain area. It's like, bro, we down there. We about to pull up on them. And with somebody like Drake, like Tiffy said, of course nobody going to really try to hurt him. You know what I mean? Somebody like Drake, like they going, you know, it probably don't even leave the hands getting put on them or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that serious with somebody like Drake.
But
You know what I mean?
Meek Mill could pretty much walk into any performance venue or like any of these places and just walk in.
Hell yeah, he's still Meek. Ain't nobody going to block him out. Even to this day, you know, he's still, it don't matter how much his albums sell to this day, he's still a celebrity and known
So
around the world.
so let's finish this out because this is going to be a really interesting part of this interview that I did with Tiffy.
Nobody.
Was that a battle you could have seen getting violent though? Or was it going to be kept on record?
No, Drake. I don't think. No, nobody ain't want to get violent. We wanted to approach the situation and see what was the deal. That's why we went down there to the show and all that, and you know what I mean. Ran up in there when he came here with Future, but other than that, it wasn't like no violence. Nobody had no guns and no knives, no bats. No, it wasn't none of that. Just a conversation. You know what I mean? That's when the OG came out. Jay Prince. He came
The OG came out. The OG came out, man. Let's hear it.
out, talked to us. You know what I'm saying? And they left out. You know what I mean? And now a year or two later, they squash it. You know what I'm saying? So it was all love. You know what I'm saying? It's all about a conversation. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go through life and have an enemy and not have a conversation with them. That's phony. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't real. You can't beef with nobody that you ain't had a conversation with, altercation, like a real altercation, face to face. Like all that shit was internet, Twitter. You know what I mean? So it was like they had to get the conversation.
Twiz, what is your reaction to that, man? Now that you've heard the story of actually what happened when Meek and the Dream Chasers all got back there, Jay Prince popped out and him and Drake exited.
Yeah, you know, Jay Prince popped out and Jay Prince came out respectfully. Believe that. You know what I mean? I know he got his status and all of that, but when he came out and spoke to these guys, he spoke to them respectfully. Like, you know, this let's just be all getting money. Why can't we just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He was like he was mediating, you know what I'm saying, being a mediator. Like it ain't like he came out like y'all not gonna do nothing to him or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that type of energy. You know, I can pretty much guarantee that. You know what I mean? So you gonna only respect something that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because for real, like Meek is a rapper, but you got like people like Tiffy and them that's around Meek, where you know it's all about the bag at the end of the day, bro. People come straight from the trenches, like we know what real drama is. If it's a real issue, it's not even gonna be no talking. You know what I mean? It's not even we talking about like this is music stuff right here. This ain't nothing real serious. Like to the point where they can listen to the Drake this John and might laugh at times. I'm like when it first hit, you know, of course it tore Meek up, but at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, I even heard Meek say that he listened to that John still. Like sometimes it motivated. You know what I mean? So it just come with the game, and when you from the trenches and you a little bit more mature than you from the trenches, you don't take everything so serious. And that go back to what we was talking about in the last few prior streams. If y'all ain't check them out, make sure y'all check them out. Where these artists nowadays, these young guys coming up, and they turn situations deadly where it don't gotta go that far. You know what I mean? Where like, you always, it's better to just get money and win. It's no point of crashing out. You know what I mean? Everything not worth getting violent and crazy with every little situation.
I want to say free Tiffy Bay, a really good
Definitely
dude.
free Tiffy.
I appreciate him taking me into his studio, introducing to me to some of the do for self artists, you know what I'm saying, and just doing interviews with me in general, introducing me to his brother, you know what I'm saying. So free Tiffy Bay. Twiz. Now, if Jay Prince wasn't there that day, man, if Jay Prince wasn't there, do you think it would have been all Gucci?
Yeah, I don't think they would have. Like we talking about Drake, I can see if it was like an artist that was like, y'all ain't gonna do nothing, you know what I mean, coming with that energy or had something fly to say. But Drake not that type of guy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you would feel bad even if you punch Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like you punch Drake, like it wouldn't feel right. You know what I mean? Coming up and punching Drake is like punching Michael Jackson or something, bro. You
No,
be like,
don't be punching on Drake, man.
exactly. Like
Drake called
you
me a gentleman.
real rap. Drake be like, man, I'm sorry. I told y'all I was sorry. He make you feel bad. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just music.
He's like, I told you I'm not bad about that, man. I told you my
Yeah.
bad about that. Yo, man, he told you it's bad. You know what I'm saying?
Real rap.
Yeah, man. Major salute to Tiffy for giving the interview.
For sure.
Overall, it was a really good interview with Tiffy Bay.
Yeah.
That little aspect though, you had not heard that before, Twiz, or had you seen that interview before?
Yeah, I seen the interview, but it wasn't rolling around on the streets. It ain't like people was like, damn, they went up there and Jay Prince popped out and all of that. Jay Prince, like he's somebody where he know how to talk to other G's without being disrespectful. Even if you notice it's a situation, how he talk, he talked like a well educated OG. He talked like a lifer that's upstate. Them lifers upstate, you know what I mean? They try to give you game, but don't cross the boundaries because he willing to die for what he stand for.
Twiz, is Jay Prince, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that Jay Prince is the one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jay Prince stopped Drake from putting out a Meek Mill diss, the third Meek Mill diss, or did Jay Prince stop Drake from putting out a Kanye West diss?
I know Jay Prince for stopping. I know Jay Prince for stopping the Pusha T stuff where he was saying when Pusha T and Drake, he said you're getting too carried away now.
Yep.
Because Pusha T had said something about a friend of Drake's where he dealing with like medical conditions, and I forgot what the guy name was.
I believe it was 40.
Yeah, yep. He's like he looking sick. He said that joint right there. Like so, it was like it really got the Drake.
Also, he exposed to the world that Drake was a father. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, and that would have been the approach that we would have liked to see Meek do. And Meek and Pusha T had a good relationship. They always had a good relationship because even if you notice, around that time when he dissed Drake, he had that song like "What Would Meek Do." So I felt like he was like, "Bro, you should have did him like this." Real rap. It was the Pusha joint. Appreciate it, Nick.
Yeah, the Pusha joint. Yep, the Pusha T and the Drake beef started getting a little bit deep. All these Drake beefs get a little deep, man. Even the Common one got a little bit deep.
Yeah.
Pusha T, the Meek Mill.
Yeah,
But Drake kind of wiped the floor with all of them besides Pusha, right? Or am I mistaken?
yeah. Pusha wiped Drake up. Drake couldn't. Nothing that Drake was throwing towards Pusha wasn't sticking because like Pusha was he
That was beating
Pusha
off.
was
I
real
mean, off
rap,
Pusha.
but then it's just crazy, and you see how the industry worked. Because as much as the lights was on Pusha at that time,
Right.
what's
It
going on
didn't
with
go.
Pusha now?
Didn't go all
Like
the way through.
yeah,
Well,
like
I
that might
mean,
have made it.
Pusha T's album rollout was a little bit different. 'Cause I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, that joint
He
had
had an
like 7
album.
tracks on it, I think.
He had an album he was gonna call King Push, but then he released like an album before that called like Daytona or something.
Yeah, I remember the last album I heard of Pusha. This is when they was dropping them 7-track joints. You know, with the how Kanye had him. He only had like 7 songs on that joint, and that joint was crazy. True Religion Network. We got the bro
Bonds,
South
better
Side in the
late,
building.
better late than never. Bonds, what is good,
Yes,
brother?
sir.
Yeah, it was goody, bro. Had some family things going on.
No, it's all good. It's all
It's
good.
all good. We understand, man. We understand.
Man. They don't want you to work. They don't want you to win.
They
How
don't want
Khaled said.
They just want. They don't want you to work. They just
Mhm.
want you to win.
My name Khaled say, man, they don't want you to win, man.
No. They don't want you to work. They just want you to win. You know.
Right,
You know
right.
what that is, Twiz. It's like
I get that.
now Twiz got a very supportive wifey, but that's how the shit is.
Definitely. I'm blessed for that. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Because like everybody wants the giant pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but they don't want to
True.
go all the way up that shit. And you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It's
True.
always better to get to the but you know what, Bonds? It's all good, man. You know, we grind shit out, brother. Don't let that shit phase you, bro, because we're all working.
Definitely.
I'm like, you can't play more than you work, man. It's not gonna
True.
add up.
True.
So, Bonds, now that we got you here, man, I definitely wanted to ask you, Twiz and me have been going in about it, and Twiz filled in great on the New York artist topic. Twiz is a Philly guy, but I wanted to ask you, what did you think about, two New York artists like Shyne and 50 Cent going at it, especially with Shyne being incarcerated at the time?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it was like 50 then came at so many people. It wasn't even no surprise. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like, oh, 50 and Shyne. I was like, all right, 50 coming at somebody else. But I mean, Shyne did have I guess a good reputation, if you want to say, you know what I'm saying? But
He did. What did you know about Shyne's reputation back then? Crazy buzz.
Yeah, as far as hip hop, I'm saying, like, what I mean, was shooting up the club, catching the case and all that, that's hip hop credibility.
Mm-hmm.
So you automatically, in hip hop, if you rap about the streets for long enough, you're an official street dude. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't never had to do nothing in the streets, like.
And he stood tall in his situation.
Right. So he already had that image as like official dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? He was sad, but he was solidified after that.
But another interesting thing about that beef, it's like, okay, 50's beefing with everybody, Bonds, but Sha Money actually reached out to Shyne to sign to G Unit Records, and Shyne used it against him on the For the Record joint.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you can't use that against me. Like, I was gonna make money off you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a diss. How you gonna try to play me? Like, I was trying to flip you like a pack, man.
Oh,
man.
That's a
sell
good
you
point.
like a nickel bag, man.
Damn, that's kind of a good point right there, Twiz.
Get publishing and send you home, man.
Oh man, he was trying to flip Shyne, but I mean, come on, Bonds. Why? What sense would signing Shyne have even made while he was incarcerated for, 8-9 more years?
Yeah, I don't know. If just the only thing I could think of, like that image, you want to, you know what I'm saying? Who's you want to be aligned with, somebody that the culture considers
thorough and tough and stand up. So sometimes people, you know, you can look at it like he's signing a person, but a wise person could look at it like he's investing in his image. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. And plus, we got somebody like 50 where he came up, and these guys was dumb guys. Just like he tried to sign the locks and all of that. It's like an accomplishment under your belt. You know what I mean?
MOP, yeah, just like he tried to say
Exactly.
MOP and Mace. Yeah, Bonds, it kind of
Exactly.
falls under that same category of him trying to sign Mace and
Right,
MOP.
just for the clout, like it ain't even. It's really signing you. It's
Exactly.
really just a look. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
bigger, deeper than. You know what I mean? I don't care if you don't do nothing. I signed you. That you know what that does for my
Facts.
portfolio.
That
But you
go on a
know,
resume.
like we were talking earlier, he didn't sign with Murder Inc. He didn't sign with G Unit. He signed with Def Jam to the tune of 3.5 million. I don't think either of those labels would have been able to offer that type of money, Bonds.
Probably not.
I don't think G Unit was offering 3.5 million. I don't think Irv was offering 3.5 million.
Nah. It could have worked out. See, it depends because it's like anyway, what they was gonna do was get the money from the label anyway. So could they have went and got? Could he have signed Shyne and then went to the label and got a big budget? How much of that? Then how much of that was he gonna give to Shyne? So yeah, because he had
Exactly.
got more than that, but was he gonna give Shyne that?
And you got to split it with Irv. You know what I mean? And they ended up getting Irv Gotti on the album. You remember Twiz what the record was?
I don't remember what the record was, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know like the name of it or nothing, but
Was that enough though? They got Irv Gotti on the album for the Jimmy Choo record with Ashanti. It's like, come on, you didn't even have to do what Bonds just said. You didn't even have
yeah,
to do a partnership with Murder Inc. and Def Jam, which
yeah,
I
that's
was going to
true.
allude to. I was going to allude to that because you all know Murder Inc. was Def Jam back then. So Irv would have
True.
stepped in and taken $1 million of that check or $1.5 million. But he got Ashanti and Irv anyways, and he got a video.
Cause he's
True.
on Def Jam. So once Def Jam signed Shyne directly anyway, they go tell you, yo, Irv, I
You got to
need you
work
to
with
X,
him,
Y,
do
and
this
Z.
collab. Yeah,
I need you
Well,
to, you know what
yeah.
I mean?
now Bonds,
That's
what
how Game got with G Unit.
now Bonds, this is back in 01, I guess, and they're promoting the Godfather Buried Alive album.
Right.
Shyne gets a billboard. I'm hoping I'm remembering this correctly. He gets a billboard for the album in front of the Brooklyn Bridge. Is that it? Tell me about that area a little bit. Why that would be a fundamental area to get a big billboard for your album.
Well, it's a heavily populated area. A lot of people go through. A lot of people travel through there. There's not really no um hoods over there, but well, that's it. Not right there. That's really like a, you know what I mean. That's not really like a, but that is like a prominent area. You know, the Brooklyn Bridge.
Ideal.
Yeah, that's that's damn near like Times Square. You know what I'm saying? Almost ain't as big as Times Square, but that's up there like
And
top
then
5.
another thing they did, Bonds, Shyne got his guys who were promoting the album, and they wrapped a Phantom. They wrapped the Phantom with
Man.
the Godfather Buried Alive, rather than just sticking the posters on it like a lot of people were known for. What do you make of them doing that back in the day in New York, wrapping a Phantom and driving it around the hood with Shyne shit? What kind of impression did that give?
Nah, it was Boss Big, you know, the salute shit. So you know, that's Boss Big status, the Phantom, Godfather. Phantom goes with the Godfather, and plus, it's so dope that you could get the label to buy you a Phantom as a promotional vehicle. Like, whoa, that
Well,
chewed up the whole budget.
Well, I think
Not even.
Shyne was probably doing that on his own, with that budget they gave him of that 3.5 million.
Yeah, but you got to spend it somewhere.
Yep. Get It Off the Rim podcast says, Bonds, what's good, my guy?
Salute, peace, King, peace and love, man. I can't complain, man. Maintaining, growing, being blessed, man.
And Apex said a lot of big hip hop videos were filmed by the bridge.
Yeah, that's like top 5 attraction in New York City, man. Brooklyn Bridge. You got, you know what I mean, Times Square, Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty. You got like Brooklyn Bridge is like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Salute,
People
salute.
are
Get it
tuning
off the
in with
rim
us, man.
podcast. Much love and respect.
and that's where you go from
Appreciate it.
Brooklyn. That's where you cross from Brooklyn to Manhattan too. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, a lot of the Brooklyn, you know, because right now it's crazy. They gentrifying Brooklyn. You wouldn't even know. I don't even know what's going on over there right now. If it's suburban white people, or if it's right now at this point, because they switching it. But I would
Facts.
say, basically that's how, because I would say even the when you get over to Manhattan and that part of Brooklyn too is like real, like upper suburban, like I guess, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they call that.
Twiz, what's up with all the rappers from Philly? You must be seeing it, man. They're putting their billboards on the Manhattan, Times Square and shit. Everybody's putting their shit up there nowadays. Have you been noticing it?
Mhm.
Well, that's also what I was saying too, where it's like Philly and New York always had that relationship where it's a lot of talent out Philly when it comes to like music and things of that nature. But New York always had the business intact. They know how to get to the dollar. They know the moves to make. They got the proper, you know what I'm saying? So New York is always one of the first places that everybody from Philly go to try to gain that success. You know what I mean?
Guys, we got a good question before you logged in here tonight, Twiz. Right before Twiz logged in, Bonds. And since you're here, I want to bring this question to both of you now. Somebody in the chat asked, do you think Jay-Z would have still had the same career if Biggie never passed? And I want to bring that question to both of you. Bonds being a New York artist, Twiz being the voice of Philly. You know what I'm saying? I'm stamping that shit. Mikey T, the movie star. I've interviewed every single Philly cat that you could name, probably besides Meek Mill. But you know what I'm saying? But anyways, my opinion on it, guys, is that Jay-Z took a different route than Biggie would have taken if Biggie was still alive. If we all know, Jay-Z went out to Philly to go sign the major figures. He went out to go get a group in Philly. That failed. They started State Property. I got a feeling that Jay-Z had a bit of a different a different path than he was going to take than Biggie. Biggie would have popped off Little Cease's career. He would have had Little Kim's album continue to thrive. Junior Mafia would have continued to thrive. He would have done some. I think he was going to sign Cameron, if I'm not mistaken. Twiz, excuse me, Bonds. What's your take on that, man? Would Jay-Z
Yeah.
still have thrived?
Well, I think he wouldn't be as big, you know what I mean, because he wouldn't have been, the I think was I think Big was a little better. One, but that's not the main reason why too. It's kind of like you said, I think, Jay-Z would have did, his business things and been able to succeed as a he would have been well respected. But like you just said too, like as far as when they stepped into their boss roles, I think that Biggie personally would have had better artists. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as Jay-Z out, you know what I mean? I think State Property and the Philly dudes is the best thing he did. As far as the city, I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't see who he put on from the city that really made an impact like that. I think more Brooklyn dudes would have been tied in with Big, and I think he probably would have gave us somebody
Harlem as
really
well.
dope. Yeah, I think he would have gave us some dope artists.
Twiz, do you agree with what Bonds is saying in that Jay-Z's legacy of signing artists, kind of his best artists are from
It's
Philly? I mean, I was gonna say
yeah,
you can't name a better artist than Beanie Siegel that Big actually had that we know about.
I mean, Jay-Z
yeah.
had
I
three.
mean, it's yeah, it's tricky. It's like a 50-50. We gotta break everything down. It's like you
Right.
got Jay-Z where it's like Jay-Z, he came in the game with Dame and Biggs, where these guys was putting their own bread up to get on. And then you got Biggie, where Diddy was pretty much pulling him out the streets. Like, bro, you got talent. So, Biggie definitely was, could rap better than Hov. You know what I mean? Like his it's just like everything about Big as far as rapping was that, and he was lit to the point Biggie was in the position he would have not only would he have signed, he already had Junior Mafia, but he was going to sign Ken. Then that would have Dipset and all them would have fell up under him. You Mace, you got the Locks. You know what I'm saying, where it could have probably got worked out, but at the same time, Biggie still would have had Diddy he still would have been like in ties with Diddy for certain artists also, because Diddy was signing so many people. So a
He
lot
was
of people from New
executive
York.
producing. He was executive producing Diddy's rap.
Yeah, because he could rap, so he was definitely doing all that, like all that drink, like Victory and all of that. Big was behind all of that, so it's like
Yeah.
Big
He would
was
have
more.
had a piece of
Big
Bad
was more.
Boy as a company. I think he would have been. It would have been different.
Big was more impactful, but I still don't think that it would have took away from Jay-Z career, because Jay-Z
Right.
still had like a bigger. Jay-Z is just that he was a businessman. So, for instance, Biggie might have killed it on the music. He might have had a big label, but Jay-Z was the one investing in clubs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So Biggie would have had to have been here. We don't know how that really would have played out, but that's a great question, man.
Now, Jay-Z, what I want to say is maybe Jay-Z was potentially a little bit more business oriented, because Biggie's one of his favorite things to do was smoke weed. I honestly think Jay-Z has put that to the side a little bit to focus on, being the president of labels and stuff like that. I mean, Jay-Z has signed Rihanna, Neo, Young Jeezy, Rick Ross. Like, now just let's focus on the R&B acts, the Neos and the Rihannas. You know what I'm saying? Was Biggie gonna find R&B talent like that? Twist?
Well, we gotta remember how old was Jay-Z when he started doing these things. And then look at the age that Biggie was when he died. Like when Jay-Z came out,
He married one
you
of the
had
biggest, a big R&B singer.
exactly that too. So Tom would only had
Jay-Z
told.
topped that, Bonds.
Huh?
And Jay-Z topped that. He married a bigger R&B singer.
Well, yeah, at that time. So I mean, you know what I mean. You never know where, you know what I mean. Who
Whoa.
big with a back.
Yeah, okay. So Bonds is saying that Faith would have just had an amazing career too
I
on
think
Biggie's label.
I think I think if Big was alive,
Faith ain't no Beyonce.
still alive,
Charlie
I
Baltimore, she
think
would have
Big
been a
is.
great artist too, Bonds.
Big Kim would have career would have went differently. She would have had more hits. She'd have had like 30 more hits. You know what I'm saying? Kim would have had way more hits.
Yeah. She would not have done that song with Mr. Cheeks. Silly Mr. Cheeks.
That's a good song.
Jump off.
But that's also a difference between Jay-Z and Big. Is Jay-Z came in the game understanding the business more than Big understood the business. When Big came in, like Big was learning as he went. Just like, I forgot who said it. I think it was Gene Dill was talking about before Big got killed and everything, where he was learning about things and was looking into, like, I'm about to start my own thing. But you had Jay-Z where he was right there and he knew and understood. You go about this that way. You go about this that way. You know what I'm saying? But if Big was alive, it would have been nice to see Hov and Big working together.
Yeah. You got to
As
think
far as
Ciroc, all that
entrepreneurship.
Big probably would have had half of Ciroc. He might have had his own cognac.
Facts he would have, because in those years people wasn't doing too much of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
so it's like,
I'm gonna agree with Chris right here. Jay had J. Cole. Okay, J. Cole. So J. Cole or a cognac. J. Cole has sold like 400,000 units in a week.
But look how many years later it took Jay-Z to do that, is what I'm saying. Like when Big got killed, he ain't have a time to even extend his wings. That's like around the time when you had Jay-Z rapping with people like Jaz-O and things like that. Like nobody would have never looked at Jay-Z and thought that he would have built the empire like he did. And it really took a group of them to build that empire. It ain't like Jay-Z did it by himself. We ain't gonna
Hold
trip
on.
that Hove ain't learned a lot of game from Dame and Biggs before he did anything.
Nobody would have thought Jay-Z would have built an empire. Oh,
I'm talking about back then. I'm talking about back when he came out.
yeah, I hear you.
You know, Biggie ain't have no long career like that. It ain't like Biggie was rapping for 15 years or something and then he lost his life.
Right. By 2000, you knew Jay-Z was going to start an empire, though. But this
Exactly.
is
Right, 4 years after
Well,
Biggie died.
yeah, that was 4 years after Biggie
exactly.
died. Yeah, just because, the organization that Jay-Z and Dame Dash had, you could just tell that was going to become a big conglomerate.
But who was Big with? Big was with Puff, though. Let's not forget that, man.
Yeah, Big was with Puff.
Yeah.
Big was with Puff as still the music industry had not it was still changing at that point though, man.
Mhm.
Like, Puff signed Big for like $60,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Big so impactful that at the time that he died, it would still be hard for an artist like Hove to even do verses with Big old stuff. Big music was so impactful. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's true.
If they went 10 songs apiece.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people said that. A lot of people said that about Jay and Big. But yeah, as far as the label, I can't remember what they were gonna call Biggie's label. I don't know if you remember that, Bonds, but I thought there was a name out there. You know what I mean? I thought there was a name out there. If somebody could Google it.
I think he was doing some commission. The commission he was doing with he was forming a commission with
Was it Un Rivera?
Was it Charlie Baltimore?
Was it Un Rivera as well?
Yeah, Un was the dude that was, I think, managing Charlie. I don't know, but I don't know if he was doing it business wise with Un, but he was doing a commission. It was supposed to be him. Somebody in the comments that I hope so. Him and somebody. I think Charlie Baltimore, like the firm. Remember how the
Okay.
No,
so
it
was called Bonds. Biggie had, I guess, formed a label with Un Rivera called Un Diaz.
Undies Entertainment. Yeah, that's who Cameron. That's why. Yeah, that's actually what Cam said too. Though he was like, when Big died, he was like, still was like, yo, I'm gonna mess with you.
Apex, thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. As I was just looking it up as well, he looked it up and shit. And then it became how do you say that shit? Unentertainment or something?
Undies.
No. When Dutch and Spade signed over there and Cam signed on over there, I believe they renamed it to Unentertainment or something.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah, it was entertainment.
Yeah.
That's when Jay-Z caught a case for stabbing him and all that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that shit, man. Didn't that have to do with Charlie Baltimore?
That's what they say. It was over Charlie Baltimore.
And Bonds, you would be interested in. You would have liked to have done a song with Charlie Baltimore.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool. Hell yeah. I seen Charlie Baltimore like recently when I came on. She was in shout out to Ty Fife, man. Super producer from Queens. Ty Fife, he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? Did a lot of records with a lot of like anybody you could think of from Queens. Fife did records for him. That's my big homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple records with him and all that too. But I seen he had Charlie Baltimore in the studio one night when I went there. Oh, actually, I was there and she came. She pulled up, popped up. Well, I was like, oh shit. So I met her.
Were you a Charlie Baltimore guy? She did sign with the Ink for a little period of time. I guess Irv Gotti was trying to put her on for a little second.
Yeah, I always liked her.
She was on Rule's fourth album, The Last Temptation.
Yeah. Charlie was cool.
Yeah, definitely. She was Yeah, I mean, she played her part on the tracks and all of that. Yeah, I mean, shout out to her. I think she's from Philly, if I ain't mistaken.
What
Wow, I
was
think so.
I believe so.
I think Charlie is from Philly though, bro.
that's
If she
crazy.
ain't from Philly, she definitely connected to her.
Yeah,
Connected to
no, she
Philly. I
is.
know
She's
that
from
for a fact.
Philadelphia. She's from Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Man, I'm gonna have to connect with Charlie Baltimore. I hope I can make that happen this year. And then we can finally put Bonds' bucket list track with Charlie Baltimore together.
Mm-hmm.
Bonds, that was on the bucket. Bonds is like,
Nah, I like Charlie.
she's sick, man. She's sick. I don't know why she didn't. Well, we know a couple reasons. Big was gonna give her an opportunity.
Right.
Murder Inc. apparently was gonna give her an opportunity, but 50 had just shut them down.
yeah.
Right.
It's a handful of female artists that, if you look at it, the female artists, they for some reason they be getting cut short on their careers. It's probably only a handful of them that continue to. It don't matter how talented they was. It just be, I don't know if it be like contracts or what be going on, but they be getting the short end of the stick a lot. It's a lot of talented female artists that
Yo,
couldn't
Philly
make it.
boy. Yo, read this comment, Twiz.
Thorough.
Real rap.
I know you're tight.
Facts.
You're not
That's
thorough.
that's a fact.
Philly boy D said Charlie Baltimore thorough. And he also adds that she got tied up in contracts. Interesting. I'm gonna have to go do a little bit of
Facts.
research about her career. Twiz, is there any chance that she got a little bit overshadowed by one of the other Philly MCs, Philly female MCs, I should say, Eve?
No, I'm not gonna say she got overshadowed because they was never even put in a situation where people was trying to compare them. You know what I mean? Like she from a whole different era. You know, Eve. Like I feel like Eve was great because she made a lot of good songs by herself. You know what I'm saying? Like Charlie Baltimore was like she. Not saying she ain't got music by herself, but like even with the Murder Inc. situation, there was a lot of features and things like that. Eve was able to do songs speaking for the women. You got songs like Love is Blind and stuff like that, where it was like, you know,
Love is
her
blind.
yeah,
It'll
like the dialogue was crazy. You know, it make you feel it, man. And she, you know, but she could also give you that Lil Kim style rap too.
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I mean, and she was keeping up with like, not saying Charlie Baltimore wasn't because Charlie Baltimore kept up with people, but Eve
She had,
would be on the joint with the locks or something
she
like
had
that, and
swag.
she going
Can you say that about a girl?
exactly.
But she had swag. Do you say that about a girl?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, when a girl puts that little black thing under her eye like she's playing that football game, but you still want a bag. Sorry, Charlie. Charlie, we're gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
shooting a music video. Let me
Yeah,
see.
Eve had turned up, and I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Baltimore is somebody that Eve looked up to. You know what I mean?
What is this? Game 808 says Bonds Twiz. I don't know if either of you know about it. I'm not familiar. He said Charlie Baltimore's song called Money on the Woo soundtrack was dope. What is the Woo soundtrack?
Oh, movie.
It's a movie?
Ooh.
What's that movie? Is it a kung fu movie or something?
No, I forgot some of those movie. It's a movie though, but I don't. How the song go? I probably heard. You probably heard the song too. You probably just didn't know it was on that soundtrack for that movie.
No, I
Yeah.
definitely have never seen this movie. Is that Beyonce in the movie or something?
In the movies, I ain't see it. I heard of it though. I remember it was a movie. I ain't watched
Yeah.
it.
It was a 1998 movie release, and it was an album released through Epic Records. MC Light was on it. Charlie Baltimore was on it. Lost Boys, Nate Dogg, all types of people were on this. 50 Cent was on a record. I'm gonna have to go look it out. It's called Let It Be, Allure and 50 Cent. What the hell?
Allure. Remember Allure? They had a song with Nas and females. Well, Nas was on their song. They had one song. Nas was on their joint.
Very interesting. I'm gonna have to check that shit out, man. You know, it's always interesting to find some old 50 music. Some of it's weird though, Twiz. Like, do you ever remember hearing that song called "The Glow" by 50 Cent?
I'm not sure. Not by the name of it. I would have to probably hear it, and then it would probably ring a bell.
Yeah,
how it go?
I don't really know, man, but it wasn't featured on none of the albums or anything like that. But Twiz, what'd you want to say? I interrupted you, bro.
I forgot what I was saying. I was just saying that yeah, definitely shout out to him, man. I just feel like it's definitely unfortunate. It would be nice to see more of
Chuck
female
B.
artists in
Moore.
hip hop.
What are you saying? It would be nice to see more of Chuck B. Moore.
It would be more dope to see more female artists in positions of like Jay-Z and 50 Cent. You know what I mean? For like the female artists, whether they sing or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But the game is lopsided though. That's just how it go, you know what I mean?
So what about if she was tied up in contracts and Irv Gotti was like, listen, we're just going to call you Chuck B. Moore. Would that have worked, Bonds?
I don't know how deep that contract was. If they had to buy any of a name or the, you know what I mean?
Now, this is a question I'm going to bring to you, Bonds. Schizo says, I think Jay-Z was put in a time frame where he was somewhat picking up where Biggie was at in a way. Do you feel that way at all? Like Jay-Z was picking up from where Biggie was going to ultimately go?
Well, I will say that he definitely, during that transition, see what happened was he got solidified by Biggie because he was on Biggie out. He had the song. He had the song with Biggie. Biggie was co-signing him. So, and Biggie was the biggest thing. So that's like, and then when he died, like he's, you know what I mean? The biggest dude from your hood is co-signing you. Like, so that's like Yo Yo Gotti with you know what I'm saying, with Moneybag Yo or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody big, and then say if you don't hear from Yo Gotti no more. Like, automatically people is gonna look for your successor as a big void. And you actually a dude that can fill those shoes. Like you cross all the T's. Like, you know what I'm saying, you your own boss, you got, you know what I'm saying, you can hang lyrically, you can deliver musically exactly where that artist was, you know what I mean, delivering that. You got a story, like, you know what I'm saying, it's all, you know what I mean, the right person. He was at the right place at the right time. Like, I mean,
yeah, and he had the right credibility.
Well, he had the right credibility. That songs with Big it worked.
But let me say this, guys. Open questions. If anybody wants to ask us some questions before we get up out of here tonight, I'm going to open the questions up. Bonds, we had already played
to the chat, man.
We had already played the video clip of Tiffy Bay speaking on Drake and Meek Mill and Jay Prince. I don't imagine you would want to rehash that. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking a little bit when I was on my way back, but I couldn't really. I had to pay attention a little bit to those. I couldn't really.
No worries, man.
But I'm gonna check it out anyway. I'm gonna go back and check. I'll see it.
Yeah, you can check it out if you want to watch the full interview with Tiffy Bay. That's online.
Yeah, I'll see it.
But everybody in here, I want you guys to follow me on the gram. Everybody that follows me based on this video, obviously, I'm going to follow you guys back. Appreciate all the feedback that you guys leave, dropping comments or, here on YouTube, or dropping comments on my Instagram. I definitely reply. You know what I mean? I like to interact with y'all and shit. So shoot me a follow on there right now. And as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to follow y'all back, man. Yep, that's right. I be messing with the cookies. That's the only bud I smoke. Is what I'm on right now. This week I killed it, releasing all my best interviews from 2021. So you can go take a look at a couple of those if you want to tap in with any of my work. I'm going to pass it along to Bonds. I'm going to post up his Instagram so y'all can follow Bonds on the gram. He is an MC. He is the artist of the group. But I'm going to pass it over to him so he can tell y'all himself. And I appreciate you for catching us on this episode tonight, Bonds, of the podcast.
Yeah, on a late check-in.
Yeah.
I know what it is, man. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube. I mean, I got some videos, some music up there. I mean, some fire up there. I'm constantly working on putting out more stuff, you know what I'm saying? Freestyles and all that. You know what I mean? So follow me on Instagram and YouTube, Bon Simmons. We here, Report Card Radio, man. We live every now and then. So, you know what I mean? Say, yeah, peace and love to everybody in the chat, man. I will follow back too, for sure.
That's right. Everybody follow Bonds. I got his Instagram there, so y'all can follow him right now. Bonds also has a YouTube page, which I wanted to direct everyone to. Just let me get the link for that real quick. Bonds, what's the quickest way, or what's some content that they could see from you on your YouTube page? Because I'm going to give them the quickest way to get there right now.
I got music videos. I got the Local Legend documentary up there too that I did. It's a 3-part documentary. And the album is up there. All the music is up there. A couple videos.
Check that out.
Yeah, I got a couple videos up there. Some freestyles. I mean, just I'm active, doing what I do, man. So yeah, tap in. I'm living my life. Yeah, you know what I mean.
All right, so you said
living the best life, man.
Is that over the industry beats, or are you freestyling mostly over original production?
Some industry beats. I'm freestyling. I got an 80s baby mixtape. 80s baby. I'm rapping off of a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, 90s and early 2000 beats. I'm actually about to do part 2 of the 80s baby, probably like next month. I'm working on that now. I'm about to start putting some freestyles out on my YouTube from that. Yeah, so for sure, subscribe to that and you know what I mean, hit that bell and you'll be getting some notifications. Soon we back to work. It's 2022, man.
Guys, we got a question. We got a question in. Everybody send your questions in. And of course, you send a super chat in, the show will keep going, but send your questions in as we're getting our plugs out there. I'm pinning Bonds' YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to Bonds right now. But we got a question right here. Game 808. Thank you for sending the question. He says, are you guys feeling Duke Deuce from Memphis? Big boy can move, and he got that 3-6 Mafia vibe type of music. Now, if you guys don't remember Duke Deuce, he's the one who came out on the verses and performed Crunk Ain't Dead with Juicy J.
Yeah.
And I want to say Little John. Yeah, Little John's on the record as well. But you remember Little John did not jump on the stage with them at the verses. Bonds, you feeling Duke Deuce, or were you let down by them doing Crunk Ain't Dead at the verses?
No, I never heard of Duke Deuce. I wasn't familiar with him, but he did do a good job at the verses, and I did like the performance. He did good. He had good energy. I never heard of him before that, but it was good energy. No complaints.
Yep, Bonds, good review right there. Twiz, let me ask, did he leave an impression on you, Duke Deuce? I know you remember the Crunk Ain't Dead. Were you turned off by it? Did you never want to see him again, or did he leave an impression on you? That guy could be something.
I loved it, but one particular reason. You know what I'm saying? It brought me back to like 106 in Park days. It brought me back to Ludacris days. It brought me back to that hip hop energy where it be like, damn, this joint is rolling right here, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's rolling, and I like the energy. Even I remember seeing his video. I like that joint, like the beat, everything, man. It kind of took us back in the memory lane of hip hop. You know what I mean? So it's good to see guys like that where they like paying homage but still updating it. You know what I mean? So salute to him. I think he's a potential artist to make, big hits. I'm not sure his status in the game or whatever, but yeah, he all right. I like him.
I mean, if he's able to get a record with Juicy J and he's able to actually get the performance slot on the verses, I mean, it says he's doing something right. And like Game 808 said, the boy can move. He's not scared to move. He didn't freeze up on that stage in front of all those people, Twiz, more importantly. I'm shocked you guys
Exactly.
remember it. I'm shocked you guys remember him, but it's
Yeah.
also impressive because I'm
Yeah.
really impressed with the response that you guys gave right there, man. That was some good shit.
It
Let me see.
was.
Christian Bennett, everybody send in your last questions before we get out of here tonight. Christian Bennett says they should have had Ludacris come through instead of Young Buck. Bonds, would that have made sense for 3-6 Mafia to have?
Listen, Young Buck needed that more than Ludacris, okay? So I'm glad it went to the person
That's
that
true.
needed it more.
That's
all
true.
right, well,
I feel like
let me just say this.
Don't worry about what I need.
Let me just say this, Twiz. Well, 3-6 Mafia apparently has a song with Ludacris and Project Pat called "This Bitch Dat Hoe."
Sounds
So,
like
yeah.
a Pat joint.
what's your thought? They had to bring Young Buck out for Stay Fly.
I
Nah,
feel
that
like it was better that
my
I feel
bad.
like Bond said it was no, you good. Like Bond said, I feel like it was better for Buck to come out and for them to bring Buck out because somebody like Luda, he deserved his own stage. I feel like it can kind of ruin the artist coming out on the verses that's big like that. It's like when they brought Nelly out, when Fat Joe brought Nelly out, like, nah, bro, like Nelly, you should have been doing your own verses before you come popping. Like, you see how like it was the Locks versus Dipset, and then Kiss got brought out after that. Like, certain artists deserve their own verses before they just get brought out on the appearance. And Ludacris is someone that people forget about. He's really lyrical. Like, he really got joints. He got bangers. So
And plus,
that's a versus that.
ain't Buck is from there. I mean, he not from Memphis, but he from Tennessee. He from Cashville, Nashville.
Right. Yep.
So he a
Yeah, I know
hometown
he's from
person.
somewhere
So
in the South.
yeah, that's hometown.
Hmm.
That's home team. That's why they kept it Tennessee.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't remember the song "This Bitch Dat Hoe." You know what I'm saying? So, why would they bring Ludacris out, Christian? Can you give us a little bit of feedback on that? Like, I don't understand where Ludacris would have made sense to. I mean, they were bringing out the best guests. They brought out Lil Wayne. They brought out, you know what I mean? They brought out Little Flip, Young Buck. I guess those don't really add up in reality to Lil Wayne. Who else did they bring out? They brought out Terrence Howard,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then they brought out Duke Domino or Duke
Deuce.
Deuce. Excuse me.
Deuce.
You know what I'm saying? He got a really good spot there, man.
Nah, that was a good spot.
Yeah,
He had to
yeah.
show up for that, champ. That was a good spot.
Schizo, you're subscribed to Twiz, right?
Yeah, Schizo, make sure you tap in. I believe Schizo came through and showed love. It's not necessarily a podcast, but I do, push content on there. I do interviews, short films, um, different like blogs. Sometimes I'm just on there talking, man. So, I keep it switched up. It's not really like a straight podcast. I ain't even gonna try to steal that title, you know what I mean, as far as having a podcast, but I got content, you know what I mean, on my channel, and you never know what you might get on the channel, you know what I mean?
This is the 3-hour podcast that you get from SV Twiz and Bonds and Rosewood and myself.
Yeah, I don't have time
Real
to
rap,
podcast nowhere
real
else.
rap,
I get
real rap, but
podcast
we just
nowhere else.
touching up on topics. I go live every now and then, but not, you know what I'm saying, not like that. This where the podcast at.
So yo, Little Flip has said that he is open to doing a versus with T.I. First he said something crazy, $3 million.
Man.
And then he took it down to about 500K. which is like, okay, are these guys really even getting paid?
That don't even add up.
Are these guys really getting paid $500,000 to go do this versus show? Like, you know what I'm saying? But
with the endorsements, man, I don't think
It
it's fine. I don't know.
it
so
depends the artist. You
Like,
so
because
but guys,
cutting dudes a check too.
you know, we were just talking about Ludacris. Is T.I. versus Little Flip the versus battle, or is it T.I. versus Ludacris?
Either one. I like Ti versus Flip though.
You do.
That could be cool, but I think Ti and Ludacris would be better though. It would.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Twiz, what songs does Little Flip got for 20 songs?
I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of Flip. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Yo,
even gonna hold you. You know what I mean?
guys,
I,
he's got a new color tonight, and he's tapping with us.
Oh, you know.
Rosewood!
okay,
Salute to the
okay.
G's.
Salute my
Rosewood
Salute.
got
guy.
the exotic color back there, joint. You in the studio, Rosewood?
Yeah, and I don't decide the color. When I come in the office, whoever sets it before I come in here, that's what it is, man.
That's
That's
No.
all.
This
awesome,
joint
bro.
heavy.
That is awesome. So yo, bro, Rosewood, since you're just tapping in with us, man, Little Flip said that he would do a versus for 3 million, then he went down to
Mhm.
1 million, then he went down to 500,000, and then he said whatever is reasonable, whatever you guys really pay these dudes who do verses, I'll actually do it for that instead. But does T.I. and Little Flip really measure up properly against one another?
It does because they had their drama back when they both was in their prime, with the King of the South thing, and they both had legitimate claims to say they were King of the South, because Lil Flip did it from the mud, going platinum, selling out the trunk and all that, getting a real good independent deal, and we also know how Ti worked up and got to where he was at, so they both were going at each other in the old way. So now, as far as songs, well, Flip got a lot of songs that we probably forgot about, but
Does
I think he can
anybody
go up against Ti.
does anybody here on the panel, do any of the hip hop guys know the Little Flip song, I Can Do That? That's
I,
the single on his first album.
I would probably is the first album the one where he got the leprechaun.
Yeah.
I don't know anything off that first album. I know
Okay.
everything after that.
Okay. So we got Underground Legend 2002. He's got You See It with Chameleonaire.
They played that on BET.
Get Crunk with Little Ron.
Mm-hmm.
David Banner. Little Ron.
That's one of
Little
the
John
songs they
nephew.
played in the. That's one of the songs they played in the bar.
Oh man, haters still mad. Look at me now. Like I'm not seeing any songs I really know from Little Flip. No disrespect. Like
No, that you had to really be tapped in back in 2002 to the Houston scene. They really started blowing up after 2003, where
so he's got Game Over in 2004 and Sunshine. I don't even really think Game Over is that big of a song. And then back in 2007 is I Need Mine album. Back to We Don't Even. I just don't think Little Flip can measure up to T.I. You guys, like he doesn't even really have like 7 or 8 songs.
People in the South
no, that is true.
will look at it a little
On
differently.
the South tip, yeah.
Luda is not underrated, Philly boy DC. Yo, Twiz, why is he saying Luda is underrated, man? Luda is one of the
He not.
biggest rap stars of all time.
Because he probably saying that because Luda, being from where he's from, he is lyrical. He was lyrical. He was a lyrical South rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't just like, he ain't just have crunk music. He would really go in there and be spitting fire verses, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? His joints was heavy, but I just feel like, not to say he underrated, but he just did more things. He didn't just stick with music. You know what I mean? He did movies. You know what I mean, and things of that nature. But it will only be right for him to have a verses of his own. You know what I mean?
True.
I like Luda over Tip and Flip.
I like Ti over Luda in that one, man. I think Ti will get him. I think Ti will destroy Little Flip though.
Yeah, I think it would be a better battle between Luda and Ti than Luda and Lil Flip because Luda has more mainstream records and more mainstream hits with other artists, so he can bring people out with qualified songs that
So
everybody
that
knows. So I thought that's what we probably was gonna get was a Ti, Luda joint because it's like they both from Atlanta. They both rap. They both transitioned to acting. They had a lot of similarities. So I thought that was going to be a good lineup for Ti, but it never happened like that.
Now Christian is saying Paul Wall. I'd go Paul Wall, Little Flip, but we need Ti Ludacris. Now
Paul Wall, Little Flip
Paul,
would be.
that'd be cool.
Paul,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Paul Wall,
Do it in
Paul Wall,
Texas.
and Bubba Sparks.
Oh God, no.
Paul Wall versus Bubba Sparks.
Oh God, no! Please.
I'm
Don't.
gonna give Paul Wall a little bit more respect.
No, I'll say Paul Wall. Paul Wall either Paul Wall against like Chameleonaire. I'll put Paul Wall versus Chameleonaire because they had a history together. They used to rap together, then they beefed with each other, and they both had mainstream success coming out of the underground scene in Houston. So I think that would be interesting because it's 20 songs, right? It's 20 songs for the verses, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Rosewood, let me ask you: sitting sideways from Paul Wall, or ugly getting ugly from Bubba Sparks?
Sitting Sideways by Paul Wall. That's all day. Sitting Sideways.
Isn't Ugly produced by Timbaland?
Yeah, it's a good beat and all that, but Sitting Sideways, that's just another. Twiz, how the juice scene is in Philly. You know how J Street Days was, and when that came out, it was just, we felt right at home. We like, yo, the Houston boys is on the same thing as us.
Well,
back when you used to get purple like Reggie. You know what I mean? That drink was around, untampered with.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, bro, and I don't think Bonds would disagree with you either. But Rosewood, man, you didn't get a chance to tap in on it, and I know you went back to a little research. Can you tell me what you thought about Shyne's interview on Drink Champs? He's in the House of Representatives now. He's actually decided to, take back a lot of the things that he's done in the past. Fully forgiven Diddy at this point, even taking back with the whole Rick Ross situation.
Facts.
50 Cent. But we'll talk about 50 Cent in a second. But what did you think overall about the Drink Champs interview?
Well, first off, I want to say overall, I think that joint was a beautiful, beautiful interview, man. To show the growth and development because Shyne is, I'm around and I'm really around in the streets now when Shyne's coming out with that album and to hear, all the stuff that Nori is asking him, I remember him having a buzz without a major song and all that or whatever. But to show the growth and for him to let everybody know, like when he came out of prison, like I was still bitter, I was still angry. I can't hold on to that. I had to realize I had to let that go for me to do better things, which I can know I can do. So for him speaking like that, Shyne is definitely a leader. And back then, we really didn't get to hear the real Shyne because he always had to be a rapper. So him going through those 10 years in jail, everything with Puff and all that, and him forgiving Puff, and like you said, all the other little situations, he said it. He said, why am I worrying about these things? It's like I'm letting my ego get the best of me, and it's not really like that. And it was hindering me. So I think it was a real beautiful interview, man. Nori did a great job, man. And Shyne, that's everything that he's doing in Belize, like his own country. Because when he went back and deported, we didn't know a lot of stuff. So he revealed a lot of stuff. Like, look, I just wanted to live. That's why I went to France and these other places or whatever like that. We thought it was like nobody would accept him or something back then. But he broke a lot of stuff down. And for him to be able to interact with his people and then get elected to the House of Representatives, and hopefully he can, get to be prime minister one day, I think he can be a great influence to a lot of people, period.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I'm glad you touched on that because I know you you do a lot for the community. So that's why I was hoping to hear you speak on his political aspirations. I think I asked Twiz earlier, do you think Shyne will be the prime minister of Belize one day?
I do believe so. Just because the type of leader that he is, the type of leader that he shows that he is, and just all the connections that he has, period, with the United States and people around the world. His album went #1 while he was in jail. So that means people all around the world were buying the physical copies of his album. So people already mess with him as an artist. They mess with him for being a stand-up guy or whatever, for basically not being like 6'9" or whatever, or folding under the pressure like that. And that's going through his trials, even getting out, and then showing us now that, he's a way better man. So I think that shows the people he caters to, not only our generation, but 2 generations under us, So I think eventually Shyne is the type of person that can be a prime minister and do stuff like that. And like I said before, that's a lot of inspiration to a lot of young brothers that show you, like, we really can do both, entertainment and the political atmosphere, so we can control what we got going on in our communities. And that's basically what he was saying on that.
Speak it, bro. Speak it, man. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
that's how it is. Thanks, man.
I'm glad to hear you say that he'll become the prime minister one day. That's just so dope that he could go through what he went through over here and, and do something so, politically charged over there. Like
Facts.
you would never think somebody could come out of jail being a felon and become the president of the United States.
Right. And deported. Well, and he got deported. So for him even to be able to come freely in and out the United States with diplomatic immunity, that's something in itself that's so great. You don't ever see that happening. So we need more, visuals like that, to see brothers like that go through stuff and still say, like, look, I went through this, but look at me now. And look at all the lives that I can change. All the money that he said, that get contributed to Belize and all that, he's responsible for that. So I believe, like Nori's asking, like, what's better water, Turks and Caicos or Belize? And he's like, everything's better in Belize. So I think one day that's going to be like one of the main spots for everybody is Belize, and he's a good sponsor for that.
It's crazy, man.
That's good. So what up, my J?
Yeah, I don't know if you had heard in the interview, but Shyne had broken down that if he would have stayed in jail for another 6 to 9 months, he had people that were going to fight for him to be released into America. Bonds,
Yeah.
what do you think about the fact that he didn't stay incarcerated for another 6 to 9 more months? No, I need my freedom. I mean, this is the guy who has millions of dollars, I assume, based on that Def Jam deal, his Bad Boy deal. I mean, you want to get out to your money, Bonds, or are you like, no, I'm going to make sure I can go back to America? What's your take on it?
Oh, now you want to get out of jail as soon as possible, bro. Like for it's no circumstances that should keep you in jail a longer time besides, like not snitching or some shit. You know what I mean? Besides not taking responsibility for your own thing. Other than that, we out.
What about besides fighting to come back to the United States?
Now we'll do that from outside, bro. Let me get home first, though.
You think you had just as much, Rosewood? You think he had? I mean, Bonds. I'm going to ask you. You think he had just as much opportunity to come back to the United States from outside as opposed to fighting it inside of an immigration court?
He would have a better chance getting reinstated outside, but I mean, you shot up a club in the city, and then you went to jail for that time. They deport everybody. Then you hip hop, they don't got no love for you anyway. So you fighting an uphill battle anyway, bro. You a gangster rapper that shot up the club, you went to jail, you paroled out, and you trying to come back to the town. They ain't jacking you.
Rosewood, what do you got to say in regard to that?
Now it's crazy, right? Because I remember when they were deporting him, and I remember when that happened, and Shyne saying that, and I thought about it. I'm like, I was on the same tip Bonds was saying. I'm like, even if he did that 12 months or whatever it was, they try to hold him over to try. Now you have to fight in immigration court. You're a public figure. You're a rapper that was in the shooting. Somebody got harmed and all that. So I think, and Shyne being the smart guy and leader that he is, he said, no, I have major connections, political, in my own country. So I can always get back to America, as we see with the diplomatic immunity that he has now. So, he can go anywhere he want with that status. So it's on his part, that was very smart, to say, well, no, I'm not sitting up. For one, like Bond said, you want your freedom ASAP. I'm not sitting in there a day longer. If I gotta go back to my own country, then I'll fight from out here. And that's basically what he did. Fought and came right back. And the same people that probably would have denied him is the same people that's probably helping him out now. In certain instances, or he's helping them out. So
Everybody look at you differently when you're an inmate in jail, rather than you a man. You know what I'm saying, approaching people as a man, you would get more than writing a letter or somebody in prison. They gonna tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So, man, I've been asking the guys. I always got to ask the hip hop guys. So I'm gonna ask you, man. 50 Cent had Sha Money called the jail to offer Shyne a G Unit contract.
Mm-hmm.
Shyne ultimately used that audio recording against them. He ultimately used that audio recording against them in a diss track called For the Record. But I want to know, why was 50 Cent trying to sign Shyne then? Like, what could they have really done with Shyne on G Unit? He was serving at least 8 more years at that time.
Nah, he was recording from jail, wasn't he?
Yeah, he recorded. He recorded an album in jail.
Yeah.
No, he only recorded For the Record from jail.
So maybe they knew he had songs or something. He probably had verses or something.
They knew he had songs.
They probably knew he had songs. They wanted some verses. The affiliation, like I said, his image. It was a good look for the unit.
Mm-hmm. And at that time, around that time, that's when 50 was throwing the jabs at Puff about Mace, because he was trying to sign Mace at the same time, around that same time, and Diddy wouldn't sign off. And 50 Cent was like, yo, I'm flying around with Mace and taking him on tour. I'm trying to bring his career back or whatever, but you won't release. So 50 Cent, him being the person that he is, he's looking like, well, look, I got Mace right around. If I can sign Shyne, I can keep throwing blows at Diddy. Like, look, I'm taking all your artists. So I think that was another power move. Shyne probably definitely had a bunch of raps, but I think it was more like a power move for 50 trying to throw jabs at Diddy. Oh, that's some mogul type stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Bonds, how did they get that recording of Sha Money calling the jail? How did Shyne get that? Was it a record label thing? Did Shyne call his label and say, listen, this dude's, or maybe not, I don't know. How did he get the recording?
He had a recording of Sha Money.
Sha Money calling him while he was in the jail. Maybe it was a voicemail. Can you get a voicemail when you're in jail?
No.
So how did he get that recording of a conversation he had with somebody?
Unless he had it on three-way and he had somebody recording it. If it was a three-way conversation,
right?
Right.
He had the person call, because that probably wasn't his first conversation. Probably like, your son trying to call you. Like, oh, I set it up, boom, and then record it.
Mm-hmm.
Or Rosewood potentially Sha Money connected with somebody that knew Shyne, and they're like, "Listen, I'm gonna give you this message for let Shyne hear this message, that so he knows we're trying to sign him."
Well, possibility, but I believe because you said Jason.
It sounds more like a message, like, "Yo, Shyne, this is Sha Money. I'm trying to be interested in signing you to G Unit Records," rather than a phone conversation.
Oh, so yeah, it could have been that.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been that. And you got to think back then, people still were using answer machines, so people leave message on the answer machines.
Yeah, yep, boom, right there. That's what it was. They contacted one of Shyne's managers or his associates. They left that message. Shyne used it. I was thinking he called
or shot. Not to cut you off, because Sean did shoot a video in there. It was a possibility Sean had a cell phone and he left a message on the cell phone.
How did he shoot that video in jail, man? Did when they how did they finagle that one? What do you think, Bonds?
Well,
Rosewood?
Same way everything else going in jail.
Well, Sean went like that right now. Like Bond said, true. But what I think in that case, because I remember when that happened, and I remember reading Double XL or something like that, about it. And I think they had a music at Clinton at the time. They had a music program where they had like a studio in there and all that. And if you were like a certain type of inmate, you're not having no violations, you can go to the music program. And I also believe they had a radio station at one time or whatever like that, like an inmate radio station for guys that made music like that. And I think he was able to use their music program. Now, I'm not sure, people have to fact check on this. Like I said, I'm going back to when it wasn't really no internet popping like that. So they say he basically used the music program to do the track to do the video in there, because they had like audio visual studio in there, and he was able to do a little low budget video and record the song.
Weird, yeah. But yeah, man, the dope interview. Glad to hear your thoughts on his political aspirations. We'll obviously keep watching and see what happens to Shyne in the near future. But yeah, major salute to my guy SV Twiz. Twiz had to log out, but I'm gonna post his information so y'all can follow him on the gram right now. Everybody on here, follow Twiz on the gram. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in tonight. I'm going to do one more round of open questions before we get up out of here. I'm going to send it over to Rosewood. Appreciate you tapping in. Better late than never, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. And I appreciate everybody in the chat tapping in. Everybody that tapped in last night. Everybody that's tapping in tonight, man. Because y'all give us the motivation to keep bringing y'all the good news, the entertainment news, the positive news. And, that's different opinions from some good brothers that's in tune with the music industry all the way, or entertainment industry all the way, whatever you want to look at it. With Bonds being a rapper, me doing management, Mikey T doing media, Twiz doing media and movies. So, you're getting a real good perspective when you come over here and Report Card Radio, man. So it's like everybody already know, man. Follow me on the gram, spill_ENT. You can go on the website, spillentertainment.com. Salute to my brother Razor, home working, still fighting. We doing what we gotta do, man. We gonna fight from the streets instead of being in there in the pen. So God willing, we able to keep on working and doing our thing out here in Philly, on the positive level, and definitely showcasing the positive things and bridging that gap with the streets and the rap culture and bringing the political culture together. So that's another thing that I also work on in the city of Philadelphia. And that's trying to be a real positive figure in the city, bringing brothers together, doing gun and crime prevention. So trying to stop the things before it even happen. With certain beefs that, brothers really can step in and really dead it before it goes out of control. You know, so we got to do a lot more of that. It's going to take a lot. You know, shout out to 1122 Studios, man. You in Philly, you know, you need studio time. Come and lock in with us, man. Shout out to PD Crack. Shout out Ines, my brother Ace the Chemist, white girl Missy Porter for doing members only Mondays and now on Fridays. Shout
It's
out Killer
back.
Kells and the Renegades. You know, the Gas Gang Renegades, my brother Killer Kells and my guy Swag 100, man. You know, those are brothers that's really been doing it, still doing it, you know, and I go to them for mentorship and support. And, you know, they always giving me knowledge and jewels. So I take those knowledge and jewels and pass off to my brothers on the panel and anybody that tap in with me. So, you know, we can link up, do business, line the blueprint up, whatever we need to do, man. Shout out everybody. Shout out my guy, Mikey T and Report Card Radio, the panel, of course. My brother SV Twiz up here in the city with me. You know, check all his stuff out. And my brother Bond Simmons with that TNR, you know, honorable, you know, sturdy coming out of Southside Jamaica, Queens. You know, we the hip hop family, y'all. You know what it is. Like my man Twiz said, there's only one way, and that's up.
Facts, though.
All right, I'm posting. Y'all ain't following Bonds. Follow Bonds now. Follow Rosewood now. Follow us on all forms of social media. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in. Rosewood ended it on such a nice note. I'm going to post up my gram one more time for anybody who's not following me. If you're not following me, you need to get on it right now. I do all types of shit on my Instagram as far as let everybody know when we're going live, who we're going to be interviewing, what new interviews I got dropping. You can catch all that information a little bit early on my gram. That's what's the dope thing about it. I'm smoking on some cheetah piss tonight. Bonds, what are you smoking on, bro?
I got some gelato and some runts mixed in here, which is basically the same shit.
Hell yeah, I got some pink runs too.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where the hell the bag is, to be honest with you.
I'm just keeping it simple, man. I'm just some Gorilla Glue #5.
Oh, the Gorilla Glue #5. You heard of that shit, right? Right, Bonds?
Yeah. I like the 4 personally
Who
best.
the hell doesn't like the 4 better?
Yeah. Like
the 4 is the best. But the 5, I like the 5. I like the 5 pretty good too.
What do you like better, Bonds? The Gorilla Glue #5 or the regular Gorilla Glue?
The regular, I would say maybe 5.
Yeah, regular Gorilla Glue sucks.
Yeah, 5. I would have to go.
It's either 4. It's 4 or 5, and it's another number. It's 3. It's 3 of the Gorilla Glue strands. That's
33.
Yeah. Would you say you said 33?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because I was about to say 3. But I was like, no, I was like, it's a double-digit number.
33.
So this is 33, that GG 33.
Scottie Pippen. They got the gelato 33 too, but they got the G33.
Mm-hmm. The GG 33.
Scottie Pippen.
Because you're right. They said Scottie Pippen on the package. Yeah, you probably definitely know because my brothers from NY, you know, they was rocking with that. They was smoking on a lot of that in the Gary Payton when it first had dropped.
Scottie Pippen has a weed now too?
Well, they was just calling it that.
They were calling it because it was, you know, GG33, and then they had like Scottie Pippen, and it was the back of his jersey, you know, like him in the game, but they showed the back of his jersey, and like GG33, you know, in the red, like it was like a red, like it was like a reddish pink like packaging, and then you know you got the picture of Scottie Pippen on the drink.
Scotty.
So what's up, man? You guys good, or do you guys want to see this clip of Tiffy Bay speaking on Drake and Meek Mill and Jay Prince, or are you guys good? Because I mean, you know, we had a great episode tonight. I already played it once, but you guys didn't see it.
I'm good. I don't care. It's whatever though. You want to play? You can
Yeah,
play it. I'm good though.
yeah, it don't matter to me. Now I'm interested in it because free Tiffy, man, definitely free Tiffy, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, yeah, man, free that brother, man, because he's definitely doing a lot down there in South Philly, and he's definitely a staple in the community. So definitely free Tiffy.
Mikey T, the movie star.
Let's do
TV
it.
Bay, I'm here with Mikey T, the movie star on Report Card Radio.
I don't know if anyone's seen this. If you haven't, you should.
When the static with Drake and Meek picked up, did that shake Dream Chasers?
Shake Dream Chasers, fuck no. Niggas was happy as shit.
Did that shake Dream Chasers? Hell no.
Nah, you right.
They were happy as shit, Rosewood.
Yeah. Cause the exposure, in Philly, man, is more the exposure. We love that. That's why it's the city of brotherly love. Cause if we getting the exposure, whatever way it is, we loving that, man.
That's real shit.
Yep.
We was rocking on it.
Real
You know
spill.
what I mean? We was no. Niggas was happy as shit. We was rocking on it. You know what I mean? We was rocking on it. Not happy, but you know what I'm saying? Not happy, but like motherfucker love competition. You know what I'm saying? So we was happy to see two greats go at it. You know what I'm saying? On the battle, lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Musically.
That's what you were sort of talking about,
Yep,
Rosewood.
yep. The same thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we wasn't happy like that, but we was happy to see two great people
Right.
go at it, bro.
It's lit. It's up.
Not on
Yep.
some shit like out of your neighborhood bonds, not on some 50 Cent and Ja Rule shit.
Right. Yeah, probably right.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, let's get back into it. Man, free Tiffy, man. This dude, look at the set that we had, man. Look at the clarity in my camera. Look at Tiffy had the hookah right there and the blunt. Man, salute, free my guy.
You know what I'm saying? Every level, you know what I'm saying? So it was a good thing, you know what I'm saying? In my eyes, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't bad like niggas had to kill each other or some shit like that. It was a good thing for hip hop.
Well, tour money was up.
Everything. Meek is up. Meek is the guy. You know what I'm saying?
I just think a lot of people thought Meek had an arsenal of records. Like, I think people thought he had a little library of Drake disses ready.
A library of Drake disses. Bonds, was I the only one thinking that?
Thought he had something. 100 balls in the cut or something.
Right.
Man.
No, we facts bonds. We and Mikey T, everybody thought that. Maybe not a million, but we thought he had, a nice clip for him,
Right.
to make the battle interesting.
Yeah.
I might have been a little bit overextending though.
Yeah, no. Why nobody on plan. Most people nobody ain't playing for that shit. Whatever happened with the Quentin Miller shit and whatever else, and you know what I mean? That shit it just came out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Shocked everybody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't believe that shit. Drake, who gonna believe somebody writing a Drake record? Nobody.
Was that a battle?
Who's gonna believe somebody writing a Drake record? Nobody. Yeah, nobody would believe it back then. What's he saying by saying that though, Rosewood?
Because at the time, Meek's putting it out there, and there's a lot of people in the internet was like, ain't nobody writing for Drake. Forget what you're saying. Nobody's writing for Drake. But that wasn't the case, So looking back at it, hindsight now, he's absolutely right. Meek is putting that out there and people are, debating it. So that added to it, that whole Quentin Miller thing. That added to the whole thing. That's something that's gonna be in hip hop forever.
Yeah, and he's sort of saying like the episodes that happened with Quentin Miller were kind of random, sort of like the incident with Safari, kind of random
Yeah,
bonds.
it
You know,
was.
like you run into somebody at the BET Awards and your big homie doesn't like them, something's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Which is true.
But let's see how this plays out, because now it's going to come into Meek Mill and Drake actually coming into close vicinity of one another. So I wanted to ask you guys, Bonds first, had you ever heard of Drake being approached by Meek Mill?
Drake being approached by Meek Mill? Nah, I didn't.
Rosewood?
Nah, I never heard Drake approaching Meek.
All right, let's take a listen here.
You could have seen getting violent though, or was it going to be kept on record?
No, Drake.
You could have seen getting violent though.
Nobody.
Was that a battle you could have seen getting violent though, or was it going to be kept on record?
No, Drake. I don't think. No. Nobody ain't want to get violent. We wanted to approach the situation and see what was the deal. That's why we went down there to the show and all that, and you know what I mean. Ran up in there when he came here with Future, but other than that, it wasn't like no violence. Nobody had no guns and no knives, no bats. No, it wasn't none of that. Just a conversation. You know what I mean? That's when the OG came out. Jay Prince. He came out, talked to us. You know what I'm saying? And they left out. You know what I mean? And now a year or two later, they squash it. You know what I'm saying? So it was all love. You know what I'm saying? It's all about a conversation. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go through life and have an enemy and not have a conversation with them. That's phony. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't real. You can't beef with nobody that you ain't had a conversation with, altercation, like a real altercation, face to face. Like all that shit was internet, Twitter. You know what I mean? So it was like they had to get the conversation.
All right. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
when Tiffy Bay says that they all went to the Future concert, would you assume he was referring to Meek Mill as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Whole South Philly. Whole South Philly.
See, you could tell the difference from real niggas and clout chasers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Talk
Like,
to me, Bonds. What's your reaction to this part of the video?
My reaction?
Yeah, give it to me. You're starting to give it to the
Nah,
reaction.
they went up there and they went up there to press him, like to see what it was. Like they went to check the, like, you know what I'm saying? For real, but you know, and he got the picture to prove it, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he didn't. I appreciate, like, he didn't make it seem like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we just went to, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is true, like, you know what I mean? And had that conversation rather than be back and forth, and it wasn't something that wasn't even publicized, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how you handle things a real way, like, you know what I mean? Salute to TV Bay, man, free that man, man.
Facts.
And then Bonds, Jay Prince pops out. Tension.
Yeah. Now, why was Jay Prince even there? That's what I was thinking. Like, that was in Philly, so Jay Prince must have been already. They had Jay Prince. You know, Drake got Jay Prince already. As I mean, the reinforcements. So he already came. Listen, I'm gonna come squash this because we're going to Philly. So you know it was gonna be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So Jay Prince. That's the first thing I thought. Like, why was Jay Prince in Philly? But
I like
it.
it.
He was there to make sure, you know.
Rosewood, let me get your reaction to this whole thing, man. Like you said, you had not heard about this whole thing. You hadn't heard rumblings.
No, because like Bond said, that's how you tell a real from that's somebody that just in it for the clout. You know, shout out to the whole Bay family. You know, all stand up great dudes in the city for real, for real. So it's like when you cut from that cloth, you know, and being from the city that we're in, you know, you're gonna go approach, you know, you're gonna go check the temperature. And best believe Jay Prince knew how it was gonna be in Philly, you know. And Jay Prince is the same way. He's coming and he's like, yo, no, we're gonna have a conversation because we're grown men at the end of the day. and we're gonna forget about all this internet stuff, and we're gonna sit there like grown men and put this stuff together for real, for real. And I think Drake said it on his album. I had some real Philly killers I had to deal with or something like that. He said so. He's speaking on now that I hear that. Now I can understand what Drake is saying because he said when he got here, you had to deal with some real Philly dudes. And it really was. And it was just like no precedent. Enough. It was just a conversation to see what it really is. And it was just rap. That's all it was. So, Jay Prince, he's going to take it out, and know what's going on. He got his ear to the streets. So, Jay Prince is highly respected in the city of Philadelphia. So, he is, is going to get, nullified. And like TV said, look at 2 years from now, they squashed the whole thing,
Yeah, man. I'm going to say thank God for Jay Prince being able there to avert the situation because Meek Mill and Drake, these guys were friends, it seemed to me. They filmed on Meek's first album. Drake gave him the biggest look of his first album, in my opinion. Am I wrong, Bonds? Did Drake give Meek the first biggest look of his? Yes. I'm a Boss was not on Meek Mill's first album. It was Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Well,
it was Amen. You know what I mean?
Yep. Filmed it on the steps of the art museum. That was major.
Oh, word. How far is that from you, Rosewood?
The art museum?
Yeah, where's that shit?
It's basically like it's downtown Philadelphia. It's right after you get out of North Philly and before you get to actual center city, downtown Philadelphia. But it's basically the Parkway. That's where the Four Seasons, all the few hotels that all the celebrities stay at on the Parkway. Okay. And it's just a long strip.
No wonder it's not so familiar to me. That place sounds lit. Nah, my guy.
Yeah, because the Live 8 Festival, the John Rock Nation and Jay-Z do every year. What is it? It's a major event. 3 stages of performers. Every summer is every August. First they did Live 8, and then they have that every year. I'm mad I forget the name of it, but every August, is lit on the Parkway in front of the art museum because that's where the main stage is. Whoever's the main performer, they're at the art museum. So it's 3 stages and all the stages are lit. But if you want to see the main act, you gotta get there early.
Yeah, man. Schizo said Cookie strain has some of the best bud, but there's too many strains. Depends on what you like. Yeah, there's a lot of strains, man. I usually like 6 or 7, 8 different strains, man. Tonight was a definite live episode, a lit live episode, man. Rosewood, Bonds, I know you joined me a little bit late on the show, so I'm going to ask you before we get up out of here tonight. Bonds, is there anything else you wanted to share with the people, or do you feel like we pretty much got it across? Man?
Yeah, man, pretty much, man. I'll just tell the people, man, stay tapped in. Follow on the social medias and stay connected. Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man. You guys know what it is. It's Bonds Simmons on all social medias. Notice how it's spelled right here with the S's. Let me pass it up to you, Rosewood. Schizo said, shout out to Razor. Razor the community. We're going to take a second to speak about Razor. Razor would always, get together with a group of people and get a bunch of food together for the homeless, for the, the underprivileged. And he would go out and hand out juices, waters, crackers, snacks, any type
sandwiches.
You know what I mean? Any type of, like shit to get somebody filled up. I really respected what Razor was doing, but he was also starting other businesses and shit like that. So I'm glad that he's back home, man. And Schizo, appreciate you for keeping his name alive as well. But Razor's he's getting ready to release that big project. But is there anything that you wanted to say before we get up out of here?
Oh yeah, man. Salute to my brother Schizo, man, out there in West Virginia, man. And I'll be tapping in with Schizo, because I always look at places where I look at brothers that need a voice. And out there in West Virginia, you got a lot of communities of brothers, but they don't have a real voice. So, tapping in with them and, linking in with them and setting up a blueprint so we can, get their music out there and get it popping, so we can set a blueprint where we can do this in other underprivileged states or states where they don't have major record labels coming there. They don't have the stuff like we have in Philly. New York has like everything, but we're still close. So you have a lot of places that's not close. So we're trying to shed the light on them and also give them political education and knowledge so they can take control of their neighborhoods and the growth and development of their communities. So shout out my man Schizo, whole West Virginia, and I'm actually going to do a documentary. Me and Schizo, I'm gonna work with him on it or whatever, and touch on the opiate epidemic, which was in West Virginia, because that was a major hub for the whole thing. And there's a lot of stories there and a lot of things that people really that I didn't even know. So I'm definitely putting some things together with him, to put the spotlight on West Virginia and to show like how things really are out there for real, for real. So, shout out to my brother Razor, and he's still doing for the community, even in his situation right now, still getting out, feeding the homeless and doing what we gotta do, doing coat and book bag drives during the holidays, as soon as he came home. So we're still doing everything that he was doing as much as he can. So I appreciate that, Schizo. I appreciate everybody supporting my brother Razor, supporting Spill Entertainment. Y'all already know what it is, man. We appreciate that for real, for real.
That's dope.
Chris Meza said, awesome show tonight, y'all. We appreciate everybody for tapping in to the podcast tonight. Our brother SV Twiz, the hood blogger, my guy, Rosewood, the underboss at Spilly and T, Bond Simmons, the rapper of the group. They call him the local legend, man. He's from that G Unit territory that everybody, probably a lot of people started going there after 50 Cent blew up trying to find him and shit. So, I mean, I don't think that's what I did. But we'll talk about that another day, you guys, man. I had an awesome time tonight.
I was about to ask, Boston.
And we'll see you all on the next episode.
No.